Worst Christian ever!
I watch Prophets of God and Newsmax and maybe a little Fox. That's about it. That's about it.
Right. So that's where
But
you get
I've
your
kind of
information.
turned away from news. I don't want to listen to it. I want to listen to what God's saying, what He's fixing to do. That's all I'm concerned about.
When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right, and the goats on his left.
I think it is a time where God is separating the sheep from the goats.
Then he will say to those on his left, Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
What
What
are you?
I am I'm a goat because I ain't a sheep. I'm not doing what they tell me to do.
Worst Christian ever!
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. The person trolling the chat is not Fixades. Repeat, not Fixades. Troll alert. Troll alert.
Hey, hopefully we're working. How are you? It's Rob Reed. Let me get this thing out of there. Blessed Bible Fight Club. How are you, sir? I was bored and the end of the workday, and I was thinking I would pop in and oh, look who's here.
Uh-oh.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. No one comes into my chats, and not because I don't do them, but I think I'm going to start using this thing now that I'm back in the office.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll see. But here, let me do this instead. I'm going to use my my mic. Hold on. As we're doing that, did you see my video today?
No, I haven't been looking at YouTube too much lately.
You watch this. It's only like a minute long, and it'll allow me to plug in my headphones. So here we go. Hold on.
I watch Prophets of God and Newsmax and maybe a little Fox. That's about it. That's about it.
Right. So that's where
But
you get
I've
your
kind
information.
of turned away from news. I don't want to listen to it. I want to listen to what God's saying, what He's fixing to do. That's all I'm concerned about.
When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right, and the goats on his left.
I think it is a time where God is separating the sheep from the goats.
Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels."
What
What
are you?
I am I'm a goat because I ain't a sheep. I'm not doing what they tell me to do.
I'm a goat, not a sheep. I ain't gonna let them tell me what to do.
Well, there's probably a time to be stubborn, but I have to admit that that didn't come out well. It didn't work well.
It did. I felt bad. You know, she's in there and she's it's obvious like she gets it all of a sudden because she's an older lady. She's heard the theology.
Well, I know that's what happens when you get old. You know, that's what one of my buddies told me to get old.
But she couldn't even though she knew. She kind of giggles when he like says that, and she has to say that she's a goat, and her insanity was more important than being theologically sound. That was the sad part about it. So,
Well, I know a guy that has terms for people like that.
oh yeah, well, I wanted to talk a little bit about him actually.
She's worshiping her emotions.
I saw a portion of his video called "The People Who Want to Murder Me Exposed," and I wanted to comment on that. Maybe, I mean, so it's cool that you're here. We didn't plan on it. Would that be all right, or do you not want to revisit it?
No, sure.
All right, let's see if I can share it, though. Let's see. I haven't done this in a long time. Feels like. So let's see what we got. We got a window. And I think I can share that. Yeah, I don't think I could zoom it, though.
What was that song about? Chicken in my windows. Chicken in my windows.
Chicken. Is that out there somewhere still?
You know, I don't think so. But it brought back when you said windows, it somehow came to mind.
Chicken in my windows. Yeah, that's got to be somewhere. You still have a copy of that, don't you?
I don't think so. No.
All right.
No,
Well,
silly, you know.
This is where Smokey comes in, and we're gonna analyze his analysis.
It could be on possibly M-Love's, maybe. I think she was the one who did stuff with it. I think. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be on one of your old computers, or would you have thrown it away, you think?
No, I would have probably, if I reloaded Windows on a different hard drive or something. I just forget about that stuff, you know.
All right, well, let's watch a little bit of Smokey.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, but listen to what he's saying here. He's repeating it. You probably missed the first time. What is he saying?
There's no audio.
Oh, you can't hear it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I can't hear anything.
Ah, dang it. Maybe you'll be able to hear me when I do this.
I mean,
Then.
you may need an exorcist if you're having trouble getting your sound to work right.
Exactly. Let's see. Coral Cam. What is this? Minicam. Wonder if I do Minicam and I can do system sound. Might crash it though. So actually, the headphones are bad then. So we're gonna take the headphones off and see if you can hear it now. So this is where he was. You were talking about your panic attack. All right, can you hear me right now?
Yeah. I hear
All
you.
right,
I just
and-
didn't hear the audio coming from the.
No, you should be able to hear it now. So let me see, where are we right now? We're at 109.14. So I'm going to bring it to like 109.2. Let's see.
I apologize, okay? I walked out after I invited you in, Smokey.
Can you hear it now?
Yep.
All right, good.
And you know when you make fun of me for being agoraphobic?
Victim status revoked.
It's true.
All right, did you hear that? When he said victim status revoked?
Right.
So I found it interesting and kind of funny that he's jumping on you for victim status, and the purpose of this video is to tell everyone about the people who want to murder me, which is kind of a victim status video, right?
Right.
And
And he
I didn't
pushes.
watch
I
the
mean,
whole
he has all these people mad at him for pushing their buttons and stuff, you know, and they snap on him, and then he makes a collection of it or something. Go ahead. I just find it funny.
The whole video. I only saw the portions, like I scanned through to see if there would be something related to you or me or Bill. And I got to this, and I thought it was hilarious that he was victim status. So Smokey, to you, with your silly little video, victim status revoked. To you, sir. All right, let's move on. See what he says.
Dude, it's
Victim status revoked.
you know, dude,
It's so ironic, and he didn't realize it.
I sometimes can't even walk more than a
Your
house.
victim status does not.
I would crush.
You're still there, Smokey. I'll bring you back in.
Smokey, you would be dead if you were here. I'm sorry.
So Smokey, if you were here, you'd be dead. Did you mean that you like when you decide, like, if you were defending yourself, you made this move where it was like this? It was almost like a Jedi. Is this how you kill people?
No, that was when I do that. That's usually when I'm going into precatory prayer mode, and I would have just thrown a precatory prayer at him, and whatever happens, happens. You know, because I'm pretty laid back. You know, even when I'm angry. You know.
Yeah. If you were here, I'd kill you. And I think like this is sort of like I'd squeeze your neck. I'd want to choke the hell out of you, right? It's just, granted, and he'll get on me for this.
Person may feel when somebody's treating you that way, but reality is that doesn't mean that's what you would actually do. And and I tried to express it best I can. Is well, there's two things. One is nobody in their right mind would be treating you like that, and the other thing is if they were, he probably would walk away. I suppose if they kept harassing you and jumping on you and cornering you or something, I don't know what would happen then. People are human. That's the thing. I think he knows that people are human, and the more buttons he pushes, when he gets a response, then he can mock them more. That's my opinion. What I think he's doing. I just happen to be one of them.
Well, this is the whole thing, and this is where his victim status is revoked, because I think anybody watching that is not going to believe, and this was my attitude with it. I saw you were clearly upset, and the nice thing for someone to do, whether or not we happen to be friends, but even if this was Smokey, and Smokey was like really messed up and really upset, I would try and help him.
If he
I would
said
try-
he was having chest pain, I wouldn't
and
have
he's
got
having
smart.
chest pains and he's having a
I
panic
wouldn't
attack.
start giving him crap. I'd be like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, if it was thick shades, I would do the same. I go, do you want me to call?
absolutely.
Want me to call 911? And you know I'm not a fan of thick shades. You want me to call 911? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to? You know what I'm saying? So, it's basically his whole shtick is to attack somebody,
Yeah,
hit the
rich life
BS,
of
and then get victim status when the bees come back and sting. I don't know about the other people. I only because I was in this particular chat. So we've got somebody in the chat right now. Do you know who?
rich life of roaches or whatever?
I don't know. Let's find out. Rich
And
life
smoke the weed.
of
Wait
what?
a minute. Me being here and even talking to those people was bad. And like every decision I made for the last 2 days was so bad. I was like sitting there like stunned. I'm just like, what am I doing here? And then like I wasn't the same. I just left. I kind of sat there for like a day and I was just like stoned. And it was so weird though because I was so outgoing. Then all of a sudden I smoked the weed and like the trees like.
Is that Michael Brown
No.
or something?
I don't know who it is. Did you mute him?
No.
I think he didn't realize that he was in. I brought him in and he didn't realize that he was in the
Like
chat.
seeing how me doing like interrupting these people's lives like and going intense wasn't good. It was really weird, dude, because I was like, it literally made me from where I was dancing around like talking to girls to being afraid of everybody and like not talking to nobody. So I don't know.
All right,
But at
well,
the same
welcome-
time, I smoked the weed because I tried so hard to get laid, and I brought this girl to the festival, and then I was too afraid to make moves on girls, so everyone
it's
else
Tom
fucking this
Channel.
girl that I brought to this festival, and she smells like sex, and like I'm like, what am I doing? I bring this girl to this festival, she like I'm too nerdy to fuck her, so she fucks everyone else. And you know, I'm like, there's girls dancing, and I can't make any moves. And after 2 or 3 days, I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm not.
I think he's got a cool soundboard or he's got good clips. It's one of the trolls. I have no idea who this guy is though.
He's got a sandwich.
He's an incel. That's what I would guess. And this particular person is a fan of
I'm not.
this Lil Mar fan account. So hey Lil Mar fan, can you like talk in your own voice rather than in a sound clip?
I just
Yeah, I guess he can't. All right, so we're gonna go back. He can hang out there if he wants. He can come on cam, and then I can bring him back. Oh, he left. So
Yeah, it might be all talked out by now.
yeah, well, who's Little Mar? I have no idea who that is. It might be some random. We'll see. So anyway, back to the victim. So he plays the victim card while he had jumped on you for playing the victim card. Now let's see what he hasn't said anything yet related to that. So here it comes. There's some choice stuff, which is why I wanted to talk about it because
I listened to some of it. I was it blew my mind.
he was attacking me. I haven't talked about him and ever really like on my own channel. So I figured, all right, let's do it for the hell of it because I'm bored. So here we go. Let's listen some more.
Hands around his neck.
I apologize, guys. What the hell? I'm worse than human. Okay? Sorry. I had to walk away.
How you doing right now?
How you doing right now? You try to get my act together.
See, I asked how you're doing right now. Is that you think that's a silly boy bad thing to do?
Yeah, considering that I was already had the vehicle started up and I was heading. I'm kidding.
And I was decent enough to come back. And I'm refraining from calling your name, Smokey. I did say I'd kill you if you're in front of me, but other than that, I think you're okay. You're a good ways away.
Bruce, maybe you should stop talking.
I will refrain from saying worse.
Maybe you should stop talking, he said.
Right. Well, maybe.
So let's keep going.
Sorry
Yeah,
for having a panic
you should
attack.
probably stop
and destroying
talking.
your night. That's
Are you
about it.
okay now? Are you all right now?
No, the voice is just shaky. I'm a little shaky, but I mean, I'm okay. I mean,
I know you just totally threatened to murder someone, but are you okay?
See, now there's victim status revoked. He says, what I should say is I know that you totally threatened to murder someone. Like, I really believed that,
No.
like, he really believed you were going to, right? And that's a part of whatever criminal action, which is what it would be. If you actually give somebody a death threat, it could be criminal. But a person has to have a reasonable belief that they're at risk. And he knows you're
when you say
agoraphobic.
right, but he's trying to like walk it into saying that you said such and such, and a few times, and even other in chats, I try to answer it like the way he asked me. I realized that's never what I said. I never did say that. I said meaning like if you were standing right here, like where my computer is 2 feet away, as I'm looking at my computer screen right now, it's like nobody would act like that. People just
And
don't do that.
you went like this. You did a grabbing motion. Like, what was the honeymooners? What did Ralph Cramden, and who was the woman he was married to? Was it Phyllis?
Oh,
Can't remember the name. The one that he said, "I want to pound you."
oh yeah. I know. Fred
Phyllis
Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Phyllis never seemed like
it is Takeoff. I think.
if that's her name. I
Yeah.
can't remember her name, but she
I
never
remember.
seemed.
I do remember it though. Yeah, to the moon.
All right, to the moon. I don't think that she felt that Ralph Cramden was really going to do that, and she lived with him. And she's a fictional character, of course, but so is Smokey.
Are you okay? I'm the soy-soaked California fag lawyer.
All right, so I'm the soy. So what did he say there? Let's go again. So,
California fag lawyer. Like he's not by chance trying to get you angry. No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, he's looking for more fodder. So you got more fodder there. Fictional Smokey Saint, a fictional character. So Smokey Saint is worried that someone 3,000 miles away who says, "If you were here, I'd kill you," and then does a squeezing motion, is so soy-soaked that he must have had his pants pea-soaked. Right? Is that what happened?
Then it makes sense that he would turn on you and say obnoxious things. I mean, that's just like it's ridiculous. That's the worst. Well,
the point to me is that this is what a sociopath he is, psychopath potentially.
Well,
where somebody being nice to someone who's clearly having an issue, even if they're making it up. And I don't think you were making it up. I think it's pretty clear.
That's funny. He said that he tried to go there. I'm like, yeah, right. That's well, apparently in his mind was, if that were really happening, then like I wouldn't come back online. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. If you're playing in a band, like, I mean, and it's common for a lot of people to deal with that, where your knees are shaking, your heart's racing. You still go up on stage. It's like, I walked away and I felt it was not nice that I left the chat hanging and you guys are sitting there. I thought, I got to at least go back. And
I thought that you were being nice for me because he was. I don't remember what happened, but
even
I know
him too. There was respect there. I felt for him that I should at least come back. That I invited him in and then left, and I felt bad about doing that. Well,
when you left, I think I was his target. So he was going. He's not showing that part. I don't know why. I guess. No, I do know why. He wanted to get to the alleged death threat that he's so worried about. Anyway.
But to turn on the guy that's apologizing because
the lawyer thing.
Yeah, when I had the decency to come back, even when I didn't want to, I think that's what shocked me. It's like, why is it when you come back to show some respect, you're going to come back to it regardless? Why in the world would you do that? Like, that's what's mind blowing to me. I mean, well, just somebody who wants you pissed off. Period. That's what they're looking for.
Right. No, this is what he wanted. He got his little fodder.
You wouldn't tell somebody they murdered their daughter unless you wanted them really angry.
Yeah.
Really angry. You know, that
Go on.
he's trying
I
to
just
see
want
the
to make
story
sure,
there.
since
Yeah,
you've basically almost committed a near considered crime of a terroristic threat right in front of me.
since you basically he has to use the word near because he knows how stupid his statement is. He knows that no reasonable person who's non-fictional, like a person with an actual name and with a face, would believe that you were threatening to murder him.
Right.
He has to use the phrase near. Let's see the phrase again. Let's see. What was it again? I want to make sure I get it right there, Smokester.
I just want to make sure, since you've basically almost committed a near considered crime of a
Basically, almost committed a near. Basically, almost near. He keeps softening it like the real soy, but the real soy boy in this instance, Smokey, is you. You can't even commit to the murder threat because you know how stupid the claim is. Yeah, what's up, Bruce?
I'm listening. I just got a drink real quick.
No, it's
I'm
all right.
listening.
Yeah, keep listening. So let's keep going. So you softened each moment where okay. So if I said that, what if I go into court? I'm the prosecutor, and no, he'll be sitting there next to the prosecutor. He's going after you in the criminal action, and his attorney argues, though everybody knows basically this was almost a near death threat. 3,000 miles away, he threatened somebody saying, if you were here, I'd kill you. And he said that to someone by the name of Smokey Saint, who was a guy in a cloak with smoke for a face. Somehow, I think the average reasonable person that wasn't a crazy sociopath, wannabe shock jock, would probably not buy into that soft argument. And I would say if any prosecutor was like that, that's a soy boy prosecution argument. All right, let's move on there. So, Smokester.
terroristic threat right in front of me.
Right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you emotionally stable, Bruce? Are you okay? Do you need an ambulance?
Actually,
I might have.
Real concern, right?
Actually, to be honest, when a person's like, not trying to sound goofy, but I mean, when you're in your late, mid 50s, even 60s, and you get like massive chest pain, and you have to lay down and make it go away. That's a weird time though to have somebody start giving you crap. That's just why I'm sorry. I don't know. I want to say I'm sorry, but on the other hand, I just feel like, who the heck? Yeah, I never seen anybody act like that.
Yeah,
I never have.
Yeah, sorry's fine. I'm sure you feel sorry. Like it wasn't the right choice of words. Say that for Mr. Will Kincaid, who we'll hear from a little bit later. But yeah, it's an absolute joke that he's using this for the sole reason to get victim clout, and yet he's shouting victim status revoked to you.
Right.
Do you need something for your anxiety attack? Or you just? I know you just said you'd like to murder someone, but let me make sure I take the proper Rob Reed fagthology.
Fagthology. What's a fagthology? Is he just makes up, what's a phology, a morphology? Like, he makes up words to sound smart. He's a hack. He's such a hack. He's a hack with a good vocabulary and then makes up words.
Perspective and approach, and ask you to make sure before anything and everything after you just threatened to kill someone. Are you okay? Are you Bruce? Is
that something that like maybe a police officer might ask if they responded to a complaint? They might talk to the person saying, "Are you okay? Is there anything we can do for you? Do you need an ambulance? You're complaining of chest pain."
Well, yeah.
And you are my friend, but this would be anyone that would come to you and respond to the scene of this alleged crime. Smokey Saint, Smoky Soy Boy Saint.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
You want me to
it
close
was
this
a
up?
long night. It was kind of heavy. I've been staying up too late at night. It's 3 o'clock.
Oh,
I usually have to get up.
is maybe it getting to the point where maybe the internet might be bad for you? Is it getting there? Are you just reaching these final days of temperance and self-control, realizing that you don't have the emotional tool set to cope with all of your persistent failure and losing these desperate pleas to yet?
We go back to this guy again. Now, he loves to point fingers at people. He is. Would you say that Smokey is the arbiter of self-control? Yeah, you're probably not here, so that's all right. Hopefully, you're okay. Sorry to say that if that makes me a soy boy, but yeah, you're not much of an arbiter of self-control. The various fruits of the spirit, peace, joy, long suffering. You're pretty short tempered, and if anybody does anything that makes you look bad, then you have to respond. And to talk about anybody that doesn't have much of a life, you're trying, I guess, to be a shock jock. You're trying to get yourself onto various debate platforms in the last year, 2 years now, maybe. I think we're getting close to 2 years, where you get yourself on to Jesse Lee Peterson, and you see maybe he's got his hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and you've learned that the way to get those subscribers is to be a ridiculous whack job where people just want to see what you're going to say next. That's why Howard Stern made a great career. So that's what you want to do. And the fruit of that is 800 subscribers in 2 years. You got some work to do. And here's the sad reality for you, Smokey. You're not going to reach Jesse Lee Peterson's status until you get some huevos, which means you need to get out there. People are not going to watch a train wreck that's a cartoon. That's been done. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. That's tired and old. So the Smoky Saint, Wile E. Coyote that everyone wants to watch to see what he's going to say and do next because he's completely crazy. No one cares about a cartoon. Where people care is where that cartoon starts to hurt other people. And that was the problem that I had with you here. I could have attacked you for the things that you didn't include on this that led to the panic attack, right? But of course, you don't bring in that context of whatever led to the panic attack. Whether or not that was reasonable or not, people can make that decision themselves. But people just need to watch you in a chat talking about somebody and seeing that the substance of any arguments you have against people is very, very limited and generally goes to personal attack, ad hominem. And
what is personal attack? That's the whole thing. It's just personal attack after personal attack. And if it's not in that day that this happened, if you remember, I spent probably a couple hours arguing with one of his followers, or a couple guys. One of the guys actually left,
Yeah, Nicholas, right?
Left little cult group, yeah. But at that time, he sat for hours defending, calling women whores and sluts and bitches and on and on.
Yeah.
All the horrible names you can think of. I argued that for a couple hours to have him come in and say, and that's what got me worked up, I guess. Arguing this for hours on end, like how can you justify calling people names like this, especially while claiming to be a teacher of the Christian faith?
Or doing it for Christ, yeah. I mean, right?
Right. It's just weird. And then to hear somebody say you lost your victim status when you had laid down because you had chest pain, which is probably anxiety induced from that. I don't know, though, but I didn't expect somebody to say something like that. It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
He's got some more choice words.
once again, strike at someone, cancel them, devalue them, lie about them, spin narratives about them, and how what an incredible tragedy, Bruce. It doesn't seem to be working like it so typically did for you many times.
Now everything he's saying about you, he's about to do to me. So let's see again what he says there. Again, this is all projection. Let's listen.
And losing these desperate pleas to yet once again strike at someone, cancel them, devalue them, lie about them.
All right, strike at someone, cancel them, devalue them. What else does he say?
I found it funny.
And what an incredible tragedy, Bruce.
What an incredible tragedy.
He talked about canceling today too, and I noticed that they do it too. Like, I don't know. I mean, actually,
substance.
There's nothing wrong with canceling though. Somebody going around calling your friends retards and saying that they got their legs spread open and they're screwing everything walking around, and they're going off on women like that and calling the guys queers and everything. It's like, why in the world would you want a guy like that? I've given him time and time and time, even after this opportunity, even like I was trying to do then. Finally, I gave up because he's obviously not changing.
Well, he was nice to you in a chat. Like, what happened in the last 2 weeks or so since he had that nice chat with you? I don't think anything happened other than he ran out of ideas.
He was nice with me, right? He was nice with me for a bit. But then I'd see in other chats he was being rude to people who were in the chat or me. And then the other thing that really changed everything for me was when he told that guy that the guy murdered his own daughter that died. It's Bill. And that's when I said, that's it. He's not coming here anymore.
Yeah. Well,
that was horrible.
It doesn't seem to be working like it so typically did for you many times in the past.
Oh, he says that it worked for you to strike at somebody, cancel somebody, devalue them. No, you never did anything to cancel anybody or devalue anybody. You defended people, and then people drew their own conclusions. And actually, as has happened, when somebody creates a ministry, let's say like Yokup's was, that wasn't the barbecue one, his internet ministry, like this cartoon Smoky Saints ministry, I have to put it in quotes because it's hard, I don't know what kind of ministry it is.
He's an apologist.
If they're built on sand, they end up just getting destroyed. And what'll happen with Smoky, consider this a prophecy, is if he doesn't do the Jesse Lee Peterson, which is show your face, use your name, get on out there so that you can become the whack job that people can point at and go, oh, that's the dude. Take a risk, in other words, is what you're going to need to do. You're going to be slowly trickling a few hundred subscribers, maybe, I don't know, every year, if you're lucky, going through the same group. You're going to have to go back to trying to do your debates, but I think that you realize that you're really, really lacking in the ability to argue. In the end, because when somebody has a good argument against you, it's always going to be an ad hom for you. It'll always end up with ad hom, and that means that there's no argument anymore. There's no debate anymore. So let's keep going.
Do you ever stop and think about why that is? Maybe if you changed your approach, maybe if you actually realized that you're a full-blown, complete and utter absolute failure at what you've been attempting to do to me for the better part of a year, maybe. For the better part of a year? Have you been doing it for a better part of a year? I guess, right?
I don't know exactly. I didn't really keep track of the amount of time. I know that he's been harassing people for quite some time. And really, that's what drew my attention, particularly calling women names. And then guys that would stand up for them, or other women who stood up for them, then he would start calling them the same kinds of names. Just hard stuff, really, really sick.
But he's saying that you're an absolute, his definition of absolute failure is that you he has gained, since you started attacking the poor guy, he has gained at least 100 subscribers. I think it's probably gone from like 700 to 800 now. You
500,
failed.
yeah, like 300.
You
Yeah, probably
failed.
around 200-300.
He keeps making his mark. He is he's making a statement.
Yeah, I think I first met him when some guy named Muhad talked to him when he was making fun of Muslims. Said there are no nice Muslims, you know. Then Muhad went in for his 500 or 600 sub party or whatever. That's when I think I really got to kind of know who he is.
Yeah, here's Janet. Janet says they have a video on Basement Dwellers channel showing that Janet is a witch. Welcome to the club. We got a witch and a vampire. I wonder if they're going to do a vampire. Basement Dwellers, do we know who he is? Is that Kincaid or is that Ryan? Do we know? Is that the same guy who's a loving Christian potentially? Do we know? That's interesting. All right. Oh, by the way, I was just looking because Bruce, I'm like, I didn't make these comments. True, Janet. Bruce is not ignoring you. I'm just in my chat and Bruce has access. And when he's typed, anytime you've seen a response from me to you, Janet, that was from Bruce. So he's not ignoring you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been typing from inside the chat.
No, that's all right. You can do it from inside.
No wonder it didn't make any sense.
When did I type that? I didn't type that, and I thought somebody hacked my account, and then I realized, aha, okay.
Oh, wait, you're Rob Reed, and I'm Rob Reed.
Let's go back to the victim.
I didn't realize. I didn't look at my name. Sorry. Yeah,
go
but Janet's Bruce anyhow.
Go back to the guy who never strikes at anyone or tries to cancel them or devalue them.
Maybe. Just maybe then you could find a better path. Just an idea. Just an idea. And
he's the source that tells you maybe you could find a better path. Like, in other words, that's like Sam with his mind your own business stuff. It's none of your business, he'll say when he's making an argument about someone else's business. It's do as I say, not as I do. The greatest preachers.
Embrace that you're a loser, Bruce. You are. You're disgusting, feeble, mentally incompetent, absolute, complete and utter, low character, trailer trash scumbag.
Now, everything he says there applies to him. He's a man who I don't know what his job is. Did he win the lottery, I hope? Did he do something like that, maybe? Do you know, Bruce? Is he I know he's not self-made, but he spends more than an average work day. Like the average work day, let's say 9 to 5. When people are employed, they work 9 to 5. I would say he every day on YouTube is spending at least 8 hours. Do you think that's it sounds like it's a truth? I mean, he has at least 2 chats a day with like one being 3.5 hours, the other one being 4. That's pretty much a full day.
You might be right. I'm not sure how he's doing that now. I know something happened with his channel, so he's doing the one and then he removes that and then does a premiere on his other channel. So I don't know how much. I know at times I think he was doing 2 hangouts. Maybe he is. I don't keep that much track on it exactly.
Well, as far as I can tell, I think he's doing daily chats. I did a little peek and I'm like, man, this guy spends a lot of time on the internet.
Occasionally they tell jokes and cuss and swear. And every once in a while somebody will come in where they actually have some Bible teaching. And then other times he's insulting people and calling them names and cussing them out or something, you know. So, well, although the other day he was casting demons out of a poor lady that today he said has psychological or mental issues, maybe he should have considered that at the time he was casting everything out. Which, hey, you know, a simple prayer would have done the same thing. But I guess all the screaming was fun. It was amazing.
Somebody sent me a link to his exorcism, I think, and I couldn't watch it. It was pretty funny.
Well, it was Look, I'm not trying to mock it. It's just, I mean, in general, if you actually really cared for somebody having that bad of a time, you'd think you would. You just talk with them and pray for them, pray with them, maybe, if you know, whatever. But you don't have to start screaming and casting the demons out. I think
it's called a lack of self-importance. Like this is a person, I believe, I'm not a psychologist, but I think anyone can be on the outside looking in and see an individual who really on the inside dislikes himself, has very limited amount of self-esteem, so that he's probably studied thesauruses and dictionaries and listened to people with large vocabularies and go so far as to make up words in order to sound smart. And then the only way that he can feel better about himself is to call people names, to attack people, to, as he said, strike at people, cancel them, attempt to cancel them, and devalue them. It is everything that, and I can't see a person, unless, like I said, maybe he is self-made. Maybe what he did is his career, whatever that was, he's made millions of dollars and he's sitting on it in the bank, and he doesn't need to work anymore. So all he wants to do is, and all he wants to do in his life is to get on YouTube, strike at people, cancel them, and devalue them, sprinkle it with a little Bible study. All right. Let's see.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say?
actually he could be proud of himself. I mean, I think if what he does well, in my opinion.
What's that? Say again?
I think he could be proud of himself for what he does well.
Like what?
I think his basic teaching on theology pretty good. I mean, other than his kind of nasty attitude that he thinks he surely knows everything. But I mean, if he gets taught what he believes, at least now compared to last year, whatever, basic teachings and why he believes it, probably be pretty good.
There's no one that I've encountered in real life with a real name, face, in person, who is bold enough to do what he does. Like, I've never been to a Bible study where somebody, when they disagree, then starts to go into ad homs. In person, I've never had that happen.
No, I've never seen anything like that.
That's what also makes him a coward. And that's why I say if you want success, Smokey, you got to get past your cowardice. It's time to use your name and show your face.
You know that you can't go into a bar or church, into a store, a workplace. Occasionally things do happen in places and people walk away or they get it worked out or they calm down, whatever. But this guy, he's on the internet, and that's the thing I think it's hard to, I guess you have to just recognize he knows that, and that's, I guess, why he does this stuff to people.
He's trying to build up his thing, and one of the things I guess he felt with this particular video was to play victim card. But knowing victim card wasn't enough, then he totally goes off of the people who want to murder me exposed to then trying to expose me. So let's see what he has to say.
Heretics and soul murderers for the better part of 10 years, while thinking and deluding yourself that you're doing something righteous, that you're working your way to heaven. Yeah, you don't really have the faith, but well, maybe if you defend enough heresies or talk to enough people or defend enough doctrine, maybe God's just going to look at you and be like, yeah, Bruce has been good enough. No, that's not the real gospel, Bruce. That's not the real gospel.
I don't disagree with that, but that's not what you're doing.
Well, right, but how can you? Right, I'm not doing that though. I don't do that. And secondly, Janet writes soul murderers. Yeah, the reality is, so a guy like him, like he thinks look, in my mind, if I had a choice to change places to stand before God, I surely wouldn't be changing places. Not that I feel that secure in my own. No, I'm not claiming that, but he doesn't have anything I want. I'll put it that way.
But you see, like,
his teaching is shot based on
Well,
his behavior.
it's a good statement on the gospel. He's right. You know, it's not about works. There's nothing you can do to earn. But as we'll see, like, except if you, as long as you vote Republican.
Well, he's saying I'm garbage, though. Well, yeah, but he's not saying about earn it. He's saying I can't earn it because I don't have. Well, yeah, I don't have enough faith. Almost like faith becomes works in a way, the way he's laying it out.
Right. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth, and he doesn't realize it. It's like and you'll see when he's talking to me, like there's certain things he'll attack me with. The soy-soaked baby murder or whatever kind of stuff that he starts to go after is the same stuff we saw before. So he can say, so in essence, what would be better for me in his mind, as far as, you know, what the implication is, even if I disagree with Republican politics mostly, I still need to vote that way in order to be right with God. So he's arguing, no, there's nothing you can do to get yourself into heaven. And then, oh, no, there is. You need to make sure to do this or else is the implication.
You know, if you mind my saying, adding something, though, it's odd. I was thinking about it the last couple of days. I thought about it before, but like, I'm going to sound like him. I'm not trying to do this, but I can't help. I don't normally go about talking about people like this, but I try not to. But I mean, it's a disgrace to the Republican Party too, though. I mean, it just, and he's not alone, but this whole attitude of the alpha male, I'll kick your ass, you know, or I'm going to tell you how it is, you stupid piece of this and that. And then if somebody gets pissed off, then, you know what I mean? What's weird to me is they act like this, and then somebody gets pissed off, and then they get all pissed off. They call you a liberal or something. You're like, yeah, hell, the way, like where I grew up, like, really, this crap never flew, man. Like, it would never fly. And you know, it's predominantly conservatives who would think, who is this disrespectful freaking idiot? You know, like, who acts? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, the guys I grew up with and people I knew that. They never put up with this kind of behavior. Like who in the world? Rob, I mean, you've known plenty of Democrats and Republicans, but if you ever thought of Republicans in the past as people who ran around just calling people names, something like 10, 20 years ago.
My in-laws are Republicans. My wife is a Republican. My father is now a Republican. My father does call people names. He hates Hillary Clinton. So my father has gotten ultra extreme. So he's probably the only one right now that is outside of YouTube.
But how do you think it would fly for most Republicans, you know, and conservatives in general, if somebody like this came up and started calling them names or their girlfriend or their wife or stuff like that? I mean, how do you find in general most conservative Republicans deal with that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I would be wary if I went to a Trump rally and started saying that stuff to people.
Well, I think they've become a little more radical, and even some of them may even do that, for all I can tell. I don't know. Things have changed. My point is, if you go back, say, like in the Reagan years, that kind of thing, and before, a while after, there was maybe a little redneck here and there and stuff. I get it. Depends where you live, whatever. But there was a certain amount of respect that people have. And you know, this kind of stuff is like, that's not a Republican. That's not a true conservative to me. That's just somebody that wants to abuse the system and then cry.
Well, I would say somebody that makes the people who want to murder me exposed video, and then the best that he has as it relates to you is you doing this, saying, if you were here, I'd kill you. That's about as beta male as you could get.
I didn't even say that. I think I said you'd be if you were here, you'd be whatever. I don't even want to say it again, you know, but that's the whole point. He wasn't here. And then he caught me on another talking with guys or something, another place I saw on here. And it, you know, like I'm saying, you'd walk away, but the reality is, no, nobody'd say that. And yeah, you probably would feel like beating that crap. I was still mad by the time I had talked in that other video. I mean, I'm not gonna try to justify it, but other than to say, you know, we're on the internet, and I'm not used to people talking like that. And then I just say that this is why I was saying this earlier, is he's bragging about how conservative he is and all this, and how that's not conservatism to me. That's not what I understood it to be. This is some type of radical extremist kind of thinking, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Janet, by the way, is playing exorcism. She's learned from Smokey, and she's attempting to. She's a spirit of demo out in the name of Jesus now, with big exclamations.
Oh, what the?
And I'm just gonna cackle. All right, let's continue, if it'll let me.
About 7 or 8, so it's getting to me. But you know, Smokey, I'm still gonna kick your ass. Later on here on YouTube.
In Minecraft.
And in fact, before I go to
I'm gonna kick your ass and murder you in Minecraft.
See, he knows. Here's the thing: he's laughing, he's having a good old time about it, and yet at the same time, he's playing a victim card, right?
bed,
I had to check the dog quick.
Oh.
I'm not done. Panic attack won't wipe me out. I'll be back. I'm not done with you.
I'll be back.
Let's hear you speak live, Smokey Saint.
Is this so death threats? I speak death threats. Is this the T100 Woodstock edition? Is Skynet sending machines against me that are broken down and retarded because they just can't afford anything better? Like they had to send the super early prototype model, the Bitchifer T100. Skynet just was low.
See, no substance.
Low on resources this month, man. The bills were due. Rent need to be paid. Just and here's the Bitchifer. I'll be back.
This is kind of my other point. It's like you sit and whine and cry because you get somebody torqued off, and he's there saying Bitchifer. So we went from Brucifer to Bitchifer, and you're supposed to stay calm. Everything's cool. Hey, that's okay, man. It's like somebody's knock on your door, you answer the door. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Bitchifer?
He's so worried that you're gonna murder him, in quotes, that he has to keep calling you names. He's really worried about
right. Just keep antagonizing you because of the fear.
Yeah, because he really thinks he's so fearful. This is exhibit A for a defense to go, yeah, here. Do you have a reasonable fear or apprehension for your safety? You think, oh, let's have him actually take the stand and talk about it and analyze.
Right. And then he gets on to like, you're a piece of trash, garbage, no good, this, that, and on and on and on.
Right. Yeah, he's very, very worried. He's very worried.
Why would you do that? That's what the whole thing's bizarre. I mean, I don't know.
All right, let's keep going.
If you were here in front of me, yeah.
So what I do is equivalent to death threats, Rob? You're sure you want to stick with that? You sure, Rob?
See, he was saying, am I saying what I just said? Can you speak life? I think I was looking at scripture, and I can't remember. Let's see what scripture, because I'll actually reference it. You didn't want me. Speak life. What is the scripture? Yeah, I think I was looking at Ephesians. There's a couple of them. Let's see here.
Oh, I feel bad because you go to bring up a desk to read the
No,
Bible.
these are things like, this is a guy who's trying to help people. And I think all I asked, he's interpreting what I'm saying as accusing him of making death threats to people by talking badly to them. And that's not what the point I was making. I was asking him to speak life, basically telling him to be kind. Why don't you try and be kind rather than ask, at least in this situation? I know you're a cartoon, Smokey, but right now we have somebody here who I've known for a while. Maybe you don't care, but he's saying that he's had heart pain and things. Let's make sure that he's all right. So I asked, can you speak life? Why don't you speak life? Because we have Proverbs 18:21. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Now, granted, in my fleshly anger here and responding to this idiot, I'm not speaking life. But if I was talking to the human being behind the cartoon, Jay, whatever his real name is, we know it's Jay. Or at least he called himself Jay on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. It was clearly him. If I'm talking to that individual who actually was very likable in that video, and that's where I think that was an impressionable chat for the young man. He saw again the whack job Jesse Lee Peterson and thought and realized that's the way that I'm going to get attention. No one came to his channel after, or he didn't get any attention with Jesse Lee Peterson. I'll make you a follow-up guest. You're so smart and great that I'm going to put you on the list of people I'll contact in the future, because he's seeking some kind of fame, internet fame. I would speak life to the real person behind the cartoon. To this cartoon idiot, Smokey Saint, it's very, very hard to speak life. Keep and go. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, Proverbs 15:4, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Yeah, maybe I'll stir up anger. In that stirring up, I'm calling on the human being behind the cartoon to come out of this ridiculousness. I do agree with you, Bruce, that he is well versed in the Bible, and generally I agree with just about everything that I've heard him say biblically. I know we'll have some differences.
Sure.
There's 35,000 denominations plus, so there'll be some difference for sure, but I mostly agree. So stick with that, use your real name, show your face, and stop being an idiot, because you're only going to get stuck with a bunch of other people who are similarly cruel and enjoy your cruelty as a cartoon. All right, let's keep going.
What are you
Rob?
what are you doing to help him right now?
Oh, I know you were just threatened with your life being snuffed out by this boomer degenerate.
Victim status revoked.
But what are you doing to help him right now? What are you?
I was asking him if he was okay. It's a good start.
I'm sorry. Is this a lawyer? This is a lawyer.
See, now we're going to the thick shade school of argument. Where it usually goes is this a lawyer? Now, there was no legal argument being made. I was making a biblical argument without talking about. I just said, "Can you speak life to him, Smokey?" And that's all I said. And then we go. Now you see, he can't attack me for being biblical, for trying to help Smokey, the man behind the mask, to speak life to you, to try and help you, as opposed to tear you down. He knows that he has no argument biblically against that phraseology.
He asked me to tread lightly the other night when I was in backstage, or I was in his hangout.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, we don't get along, this and that, and a couple words. And he asked me to tread lightly. And then he said, and about narcissism, whatever, if I was going to do that. And then, I don't know, he called me an effing a-hole or something, whatever.
But you see, all I did was I asked, can you say something nice to Bruce? And the response to that is, this is a lawyer? Because why? As a lawyer, I should be as equally cruel as you are? Hey, maybe.
Well, wait a minute. That's the way Christians act.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a true Christian and a true Republican, that you go around and just beat the crap out of people, make fun of them, laugh at them, mock them. call women all kinds of horrible names, and that means you're at least legit. You're for real then, you know.
So now we go into let's see now this is he was condemning you for striking at people, striking at someone is his quote. You want to cancel them, you want to devalue them. Now all I did was ask him to say something nice. Can you do something nice? Can you speak life? And then here's what we get.
This is someone who defends people in a court of law. Could you imagine Rob Reed walking up to like a mugging victim on the stand and be like, "Madam, can I ask you something very seriously? What did you do to help this man?"
All right. This guy claims to be a smart person. Can you follow this train of thought at all? Like, he's putting himself in the position of the person who was the mugging victim, I guess. Victim card revoked again. He's trying to say that that the person who was, that I would ask the person who was mugged to say something nice to the mugger. That's what he's tying in right now. What I would say, what I would submit here is that the reason I'm saying that is that you, Bruce, responded with a panic attack to the words that he said to you before. So if we're going to give a comparison to a mugger in a court of law, the mugger, the person who caused injury, would be Mr. Cartoon Smokey Saint in this conversation. And of course, the mugging we don't have in here. We only see the murder threat that we put.
No, there's called getting somebody reacting to somebody giving a bunch of crap on the internet because they're just pushing buttons, and then they go to kick you in the crotch because the button pushing wasn't working. So we're gonna see if we can really get them mad. Let's try this. Try this, try that. We'll get them to flip out eventually. He does this with a ton of people, and then he gets a response. And after he's got 4 or 5 people, whatever he's got now, then he makes a video about it. It's like,
well,
no, he's not being persecuted for right. I just want to say, I don't think he's being persecuted for righteousness' sake. I wouldn't think.
No, and everyone knows that. But he's attacking his skills as a lawyer on something that has nothing to do with my skills as a lawyer, and it's attempting to strike out at me for actually preaching kindness, asking him to be kind. Whether or not he feels that you're sincere, but kindness is really the response when somebody says they're hurting. He's trying to cancel me. He's trying to cancel me in like reputation as a lawyer, and he's trying to devalue me. He's doing all the things that he says you do to people.
Right. When it comes to though, the funny thing about it, just asking him to be nice, is this was a couple hours stream of his followers. Again, promoting his behavior, justifying it when I say, look, you can't call people whores and sluts and talk about all this sexual garbage and calling men this and faggots and eat a bag of dicks. And while you're preaching about Jesus, this is you can't be doing this, and expect people to not get upset, and then I think he just decided to push it over the edge. So when I had that issue and I come back, then he just decides to really, throw something in to make me upset. I don't know. He just seems to make a habit of this.
Here's the thing to understand. All right, this is the thing that he's attacking me for. My response to him was not a legal response. It was a plea from a person who follows Christ to another person who alleges to follow Christ to do as the word says. That is not the position I'm in when I'm prosecuting, and I'm not a criminal attorney, defense or prosecution. I don't do criminal stuff. But let's, follow that train of thought. If I'm prosecuting somebody for mugging, if I'm suing a company, an insurance company, for the injury to my client, I have no concern about whether or not they're nice to my client or whatever. My goal is to seek justice for my clients, and I do it well. in the context, I was giving him, if anything, the benefit of the doubt here. And instead, he interprets my kindness, which was trying to speak life and be kind to him. He interprets that as weakness and then has to attack me in reach, which is such a horrible reach that it makes him look stupid.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. That to try to be kind or care about somebody would make you seem weak. But yeah, maybe I guess you got to.
That's it. That's the whole soy boy thing. When I'm seeking for your good, making sure you're okay. When I'm asking him to speak life, when I'm asking him to say something nice to you, I'm not doing that solely for your benefit. It was partially for your benefit.
I'm kind of laughing. I'm trying to picture him like if he was having a similar situation like I was, and he left. He came back and said, "Man, I've got this killer chest pain, and I had to lay down and stuff. I think I was having a panic attack. I don't know, but I had this chest pain." I wouldn't like start getting smart with him and stuff. You know, I'd be like, "Wow, are you okay?" I mean,
because you're a good human.
Is there anything we can do to help? You know what I mean? But yeah, and it's a very weird message to me that this whole kind of macho kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. It's very different than I've ever seen it. It's very, very odd.
No, it's in, you know, the incels. You've heard of the incels, right? The involuntary celibate. Okay.
Right.
In Smokey's case, it might be voluntary. He's going to project a little bit later if I keep going. I'm going to go home pretty soon. But
okay, I'll be quiet a little bit.
Yeah, no, he'll project on that a little bit about sexuality stuff. But I don't think that he's married. I highly doubt that he has a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you know, significant other, because he's got a lot of time. This is a super amount of time. And I Am Janet was Bruce, by the way. This is not me. This is not me. But it is me, but not me.
Okay.
So let's go back. Let's continue to listen to his. Anyway, back to it. The incel stuff is a bunch of angry men because they don't get sex and they feel that they're entitled to it. They have to hate the people who are holding sex away from them. They're misogynistic. Clearly, our friend Smokey shows signs of misogyny with his desire of any woman that he's not fond of. He calls them slag, whores, and whatever else. So let's keep going.
Right. Why are you asking? He just showed up and tried to mug me. Yeah, I know. He threatened your life and nearly murdered you for a few bucks in your pocket. But what did you do to help him? Tell the court, madam.
The court has nothing to do with talking Christian to Christian to somebody who has just been hurt by another alleged Christian's behavior and seeking for that Christian to speak life instead of speaking death.
What you did to help this man.
There's a good question for you.
Can you imagine that
not for the mugger.
Something that might happen in the real, actual world?
Could you imagine that would happen in the real world? No. And any reasonable person with a half a mind would say, where is this cartoon Smokey Saint going in this argument right now? He's trying to controvert Mr. Reed's argument of speaking life as a Christian to somebody, to this person who is claiming they're having chest pains and a panic attack, as opposed to continuing to jump on him and create more stress on him. And he interprets that as some kind of legal argument. It's a real bad stretch, Smokey, and it makes you look bad. You don't look as smart as you think you are.
In a court, it's possible that whatever appearances Rob Reed has had in an actual court setting where he's actually arguing might be incredibly comical.
Again, we're going with the might be's. Might be incredibly comical. Any arguments, if I was on film, and the only basis for that is me asking him essentially to be nice to you, Bruce. That's his argument, that I would be hilarious to watch making arguments in the court. Well, I've been in private practice for almost 21 years. And if Smokey is 42, I think that's what he was. When I graduated, let's see, 42 now. I graduated it was 26 years. I've been in private practice for 21, but I've been a lawyer for almost 26. So when I was certified to practice law, Smokey, you were 16. Been doing it a while, and I've been able to make a living doing it. So I'd be more than happy for you to come to court. We haven't had a lot of issues in court for the last year and a half because of COVID. But next time you're in California, you want to come out, give me a call, right? You want to come in? It's not often that I go to court anymore because I generally don't take cases that are going to go anymore because I'm heading towards retirement and hopefully going to be able to do 7 hours of chats on YouTube. Anyway, let's keep going.
Well, truly, I think if we were to watch this man argue, it might be just some regular, good, hilarious lawyer fail content. This is a truly impressively degenerate, stupid man of the highest order.
Now, impressively degenerate, stupid man. Again, the evidence that he's presented is that I asked him to speak life. With Bruce saying that he was so angry that if Smokey, the cartoon, was in his presence, he would kill him, making this gesture, that somehow I wasn't on the phone I would say that I would be a farcical, comical lawyer if I felt the need to call the police for something like that, for instance. I think the laugh would be if I sided with Smokey on this, and he helps to make my case with that in his analysis right now when he listens to you threaten him, Bruce, on this video, and he cackles and laughs and continues to double down on the put downs, indicating that he's not at all concerned about the possibility you would harm him. Let's keep going.
This is reeking of an overprivileged, silver spoon-fed mouth for the entirety of his life.
Now that was the reason that I wanted to make this video, and I called my dad, and I wanted to talk about. So we know that some people know about my family's good fortune in the early 90s. My family came into a lot of money in 1991. Now I was 22. I was fortunate that my father served in Vietnam, and as a result, he was able to get a veteran's loan. In 1974, he bought a house in North Hollywood for just over $20,000. And with his veteran loan, the interest was so low that their monthly mortgage, I think, was $170. It was less than that. I think it started at $150 a month, something like that. Okay. That was his mortgage. The house that I grew up in was about 900 square feet. My dad worked at a lighting fixture company for the majority of my youth up until my early teens, about 14, 15, when he tried to become a police dispatcher, because in the Army, my father was he was a radio dispatcher. So he thought it would fit, but it was not a good fit for him. And then he worked nights at the post office. My mom was a legal secretary. But she was a stay-at-home mom until my grandfather died in 1983 when I was 14. So with that background, we'll listen to his silver spoon mouth. What he's saying. I think he refers to me as a trust fund baby.
This is one of the most flattened trust fund babies that I've ever seen in quite a hot minute. And trust me, I've learned to have a look for him, especially having seen Quap.
Now, we can make an argument with there, and I don't want to get floated. He's known how to look for them. Now, the way I interpret that, Smokey knows how to look for the rich trust fund babies because he's looking for a sugar daddy in Palm Springs to take care of him for the rest of his life. Maybe he's found somebody and he's keeping him hidden. The flesh can't help but come out when he says something so stupid, right? So I'm a trust fund baby. What I think he's done is maybe like Thick Shades. I think Smokey did a background check on me, and he would have seen that in around 1991, I lived in a very substantial mansion in Bel Air, California. So that wasn't the whole life. The whole life was very lower class. I'd say lower middle class. We were, as far as middle class goes, if you have a left and right, we were almost as far left as we could get. When my dad quit his lighting fixture job and was on probation with the dispatcher job with the police, we were eligible for food stamps. Okay. And I remember the days when the government, you remember the free cheese days in the 80s, maybe late 70s too. Do you remember that free cheap block of cheese thing, Bruce? Did you have that?
Oh, yeah. I honestly, like, we just made it by that kind of thing, but we didn't get that. But I know people that did. Yeah, there were people like who got that. Yeah.
So yeah,
it was like Velveeta or something, if I remember right. Kind of like a big block of Velveeta or something.
Yeah, we got blocks of cheese. My mom's pride would let that happen. My mom's pride was was too big for her to accept food stamps, which we would have been eligible for. And I was about 14 at the time.
Yeah, so, I mean, we might have at different times. I think before, when I was really, really little, I think I was too little to remember that. I'm pretty sure because my dad lost the business he had, So yeah, I was pretty little when that happened.
So we have this man here, Smokey, who says, "Trust me, I know how to spot him." It couldn't be any more wrong. And the only basis for his knowledge, to me, the only way that I would figure he knows, either he's heard my discussions with Andy and Bill regarding my family's luck in the beginning of the 90s when I was 22 and a half. But I doubt that, because he wouldn't say that. He believes that my parents always had money is a possibility. So with his credibility already suspect with everything we've looked at already, now we have him so badly analyzing me and who I am. So let's go back and listen to it one more time with the background now that you know.
Yeah, and he knows. He knows.
Yeah. He knows. Let's listen.
Life. This is one of the most fattened trust fund babies that I've ever seen in quite a hot minute. And trust me, I've learned to have a look for him, especially having seen quite a few in my area.
Ooh.
Oh, I know the look of a pudgy, overprivileged, pasty white California super liberal trust fund baby. If I've seen one, I know one. Absolutely.
Now, from an attorney standpoint, now we'll talk from the legal. I would think that we call this blowing his credibility out of the water.
And Rob Reed is completely disconnected from any semblance of actual terrestrial living and struggle altogether.
I don't know struggle at all. Well, in my adult life, I don't. Because, and this is where we'll say trust fund baby, so you can argue whatever you want here. I could have made the choice when my parents came into a lot of money. I could have made the choice, like, I'm going to live large on the hog, and I'm not going to try and establish myself in any way, shape, or form. I worked myself through college. I continued to work my last year of college when I didn't have to at that point, because my parents had come into the money. I worked in the dormitories there for the entirety, which gave me free room and board, which was really, really awesome. Pain in the ass job most of the time because it was essentially 24 hours. But I could have made the decision, hell no. I got my English degree, which is what I ended up with, and my BA in English at college, and I could have said, I'm going to go just swim in the pool, at my parents' Bel Air mansion. Could have done that. But instead, I decided to go to law school. And because that was a plan already. I took the LSAT, I think, a month before my parents came into money. So it was the plan, and I stayed with the plan. And by the time that 900 square foot house that I grew up in, that my parents bought in 74 for 20,000, my parents kept. And when I got married, they allowed me and my wife to live in that house rent free until we could save enough money to buy our own house. So it wasn't much of a struggle there, whatever money we made. And I married my wife in my last year of law school, where I didn't make much money at all. And the struggle at that point would have been we could only eat sushi once a week. Not the best of places. So my struggle in the adult life, not much. But my struggle as a child, believe me, and I will say that the lesson to all this stuff is what I learned out of my parents coming into money is that it doesn't solve problems. In fact, it creates bigger ones. And that's a totally different discussion altogether. My parents, within 10 years, they had been married for 30 years, decided to call it quits. And that was 10 years after they came into the money. So it actually ended up destroying my family on that level. It's a very, very sad thing. But struggle in adult life? Not really. Because then I passed the bar first time I tried, got a decent job. We were able to buy a house shortly after, and never really had issues, except when I decided to go on my own. Wasn't making a lot of money when I went on my own. Had to rely on my wife, and had a lot of moments where I had to lie with her as I'm building the business. But that being said, I mean, I always could go back to my parents if I needed it. Thank God I didn't. But
what about that? Don't mean to interrupt, but I'm wondering about that story about laying in the back of that old hatchback Maserati, looking up through the rear window, and
it wasn't a Maserati. It was a 1974 blue Pinto.
I know. But I thought the Maserati would have like a new, just a different view of it. I know.
I remember the Pinto. Yeah, the Pinto was like about $4,000 at Sunrise Ford in North Hollywood in 19. Same year that my parents bought a house. They bought the Pinto. So
wow.
that was a big year for my parents. And my parents,
I do remember your story of the waiting for it to get hit.
The Pinto, and then we never had a nice car. I remember it was a big deal for my family. My mom was a legal secretary when she was able to buy a Suzuki Samurai. You remember those? Or like little mini Jeeps. They
were cool, really.
That was, well, they were, but they had rollover issues. Thank God we didn't have any. But that was the extent of
drives too.
Yeah. So it's an interesting story, but we have here Mr. Smokey Saint's credibility being about as far off as you possibly can get. Let's continue.
Oh yeah, it was cracking me up. I heard him saying that, and that is actually when I got thinking about your old Benno story and all that. I'm like, yeah, all right.
No, we got some good cars. We had a VW van that was great that somebody gave my father that today I think would be worth $100,000. My dad, when he came into money, ended up giving it to a homeless guy. But at the time, it was junk. The engine on that thing was so bad. If you went up to a hill, you could barely go 35 miles an hour. I drive it to the dorms when I would go back after summer vacation.
They were a little heavy.
The car that we had, and it was so I could bring all my stuff in it, and it was like you go up to. If anyone's from Los Angeles, you know where there's a section of where they filmed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's San Dimas. There's a section of San Dimas you have to drive to get to Riverside from Los Angeles if you take the 60 or 57. And there's this big hill right there at the transition, the 57, 50, and 10 transition. And oh man, I killed the engine on that hill. But anyway, the point is I had my driver's test in an Audi that was about 20 years old, maybe. That was a piece of garbage, but we had hand-me-downs. It was an interesting time. I remember when I was 11 years old, our Christmas, I had my first job as a paper route where I made like $13 a month, and my parents needed that money in order to have me help buy Christmas presents for my 3 brothers. one of them was a baby. So it was two brothers that cared about what presents they got. So I helped to buy Christmas presents when I was 11. And what I ended up getting was, do you remember? I don't know if you know this, but it was they had an auto quarterback thing where you could put a little football, a Nerf football on it. And it was a machine and it would just snap after a certain period of time. So you could run a route and you could catch it. And I got that.
Wow.
I got that for that Christmas. And I got one of those sailor jackets, like the ones with the no sleeves. And, kids, they know that it's a great Christmas when they get clothes. It's the best Christmas ever when you get clothes or socks.
Well, we do when we're older.
So, yeah, that's how I grew up. So I know about pain, economic issues, watching the struggle. And I also know when you're not struggling and when your relationship, as my parents relied on the struggle, and when they no longer have the struggle, they no longer had anything in common. It was a very, very sad thing. So money, if you're interested in money and there's problem, as you who I'm looking at right now, you have problems with money and you think like coming into a lot of money is going to solve all your issues, I'm sorry to say it won't. It's going to create new problems. And I hate the fact that my family was destroyed. But when my parents came into money, paid for my law school. I didn't have any loans walking out. So yeah, I can't feel the pain of somebody that had substantial amount of grad school loans. I did have loans that I paid off myself in undergrad, but it wasn't anything over like $2,500.
None of his business, but the reality is he totally called you wrong, though. He thought that he knew that you were born this way with a silver spoon in your mouth.
He knows it. He can identify it. He can spot it, and he's sure. So let's keep going.
So let's just make sure that not only after Bruce is threatening lies, let's make sure, number one, that he's okay, and that the person he threatened has done something tangible to make sure that he would help him in this moment. Those are the priorities.
He doesn't understand Christianity and Christian living. So it totally makes sense for me to make sure that someone in a chat who is complaining of panic attacks and his heart's hurting, it does make sense, number one, that I'm making sure he's okay. That is what a non-Christian should do.
Well, yes, right. Anybody with any kind of decent concern for other people, human beings, it's not just a Christian thing. It's just being a decent human being like you.
But if it was a alleged Christian brother who caused that pain, it certainly makes sense for me, Christian brother to Christian brother, to say, can you speak life? Can you say something nice? Both those things to me make all the sense in the world. And the fact that it makes no sense to you, Smokey, and I guess to a lot of your followers, means that's why I don't want to have anything to do with you on a personal level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but like I've said a couple times, and the whole hangout was about, just calling people horrible names just over and over. And then if they get upset, mocking them and saying that they shouldn't be emotional, they're weak, they're wimpy. Real Christians, you need to think logically and not with your emotions. It's like, well, if somebody's calling you a bitch or something or a whore, and laughing at you and then a witch and everything else. And then somebody says, hey, you shouldn't do that. It's really not nice. It's not right. And then they turn on them too. And you go like, that's what the whole conversation was about, this kind of behavior.
My dad's calling me right now. It'd actually be kind of fun to get him on. I want to see if I can get him on. I don't know my dad can't hear that well. So this could be a disaster. But I actually want him to hear Smokey's assessment of me. Hold on, I'm going to try. Because I think I can put him on here. I'm going to tell him he's on live, though, if he'll listen. Dad, he's trying to call me, so his phone's all taken up. Hold on. I'll put him on. Hey, Dad? Yeah. Dad, hold on. I'm gonna call you video. I'm live on the internet right now, and I wanna put you on.
You just was on the internet. I didn't hear it.
See, I'm live on the internet, and I'm sorry. No, but I want to put you on. So I want to call you with your face because I want to.
You can put me on if you I put on my pirate shirt. I tried to call you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you wearing clothes? I guess I should ask that first.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a T-shirt on.
All right. Well, put on some clothes. You don't need to tidy up nothing, but don't say anything private because there's some idiots online that would probably take some of our private info. But I want you to hear somebody's assessment of me, and then I want you to give your opinion. So I'm gonna do a video call with you in a sec. Let's see if it works. Okay.
Okay, I might tell them off. Okay.
No, don't tell them off. I want to hear your response. I think I know how you're gonna respond. Diplomatic's good. Let me put it this way, Dad.
I wanted to talk. I've got a realtor friend. Remember the lady?
All right, they can hear you right now, so we'll talk about that later. But what do I want to say? Oh, it's just important that I want you to respond. I want them to see your face when you hear this person's assessment of me. All right, so let me call you right now.
All right.
I'm going to try you on video. Hopefully it'll work.
Should I put my jacket on with the medal?
No, don't put a jacket on with a medal. But what I do want to tell you, the guy that's making accusations about me, he voted for Trump. So you have something in common. All right, so hold on.
Come on, I voted for Trump too. Come on.
Yeah, but so did this other guy. There's a guy here that gives death threats. So, but I like him. So hold on. All right, let me call you back. Hold on. Hopefully we can do this video wise. All right. All right. So I'm gonna call him video wise, and I gotta go home pretty soon. But this should be fun. I was hoping that this could happen. But let me see if we'll be able to see him, and then I'll try and share that screen. And if it doesn't work, then at least you could hear him, or we'll get his response. But I want. Can you still hear me, Bruce?
Yes, sir. Yep, I hear it.
Can you hear me, Bruce?
Yes.
Dang.
Hello.
All right, there you go.
I'm not sure, I put my glasses on so I could see you, but anyway, I'm here. So
I don't think they can hear me though. So hold on.
I hear you.
Hearing, I put one of my hearing aids in.
No, I didn't say you. But hold on, Bruce. Can you? Let's see if they hear me in the.
I hear you
chat.
both. I can hear you. Yep, I hear you.
All right, I'm
good.
gonna try something else.
I'll be back in like 3 seconds. I'm going to put the other one in.
Okay.
3 seconds. All right.
Oh no, that's not gonna work.
I'm getting the.
All right.
Okay,
Can you hear me, you guys, Bruce?
Oh, I'm going to be able to hear you top notch now. There we are. Okay, I'm here.
All right, I'm talking. All right. Hopefully they can hear you. So I want you to hear this. See if you can. We're listening to this guy named Smokey Saint. I'm going to try and show you on the screen. So I'm going to stop this screen. I'm going to share a different screen. Because you look handsome, Dad. You're wearing a pirate shirt, though.
Yeah, I bought this in Aruba. I think it was Aruba. In the Caribbean somewhere.
All right.
And,
Hopefully you're going to be on this. There you are. And I'm there too. I have no idea if anybody can hear me, though. So if somebody could type 1 in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. Dad, if you can say
I
like
hear
hello.
you. Well, I hear you.
Oh, I sort of heard you, Bruce, talk a little bit, but it's really low.
Okay,
Hopefully
I
you're
can
not
hear
too
you.
low, Dad.
I hear you.
I'm not sure what.
All right, I want you to hear this guy. This guy's making an assessment about me, okay? Let me give you a quick background. This guy, he's Smokey Saint. He doesn't use his real name. And he goes on the internet and he calls people whores, slags, faggots. He calls me a faggot.
Ooh, that's not.
Well, but that's one of the things he says. So here, I want you to hear, he gives a prediction about how I grew up.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Wait, hold on. So let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
And all I said was that in 1991, my family came into a lot of money. That's all I said. So you don't have to give the details about that. Okay. But
detail about what?
About how we came into a lot of money. No one else needs. We don't need to. We don't need to talk about that. But what I will.
That's private. I never.
Right. Not a point. Let me know if you can hear this.
Well,
Somebody
so
else
did
thought. I never
G-Man
thought.
came into a lot of money. He found a safe one time, and it,
Bruce, I don't think you can hear it.
okay, I'll be quiet.
Could you imagine robbery?
Oh, you can't hear it, can you? Because it's really low. I should have planned this better. Let me do this. I'm going to put you on the phone so people see you. Wave to everybody.
Hello.
I'm going to call you audio, and then you're going to listen to it. You're going to listen to it online. All right.
Hello, Mr. Reed.
Bruce says hello, Mr. Reed.
I'm coming up screen. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that I can't play. Like I heard Bruce, but it's really light. So I think the WhatsApp on my computer, it interferes with the volume on my main computer. So I can't play it and I can't hear it and you won't be able to. So let me call you. I'm going to call you on this, on the cell phone.
On the cell phone.
Yeah.
Keep looking at.
Same thing, but I'm getting off video. Okay.
Get off the vid.
I'm getting off. I'm going to call you right back.
Okay.
All right.
I'm here.
All right. Bye. All right. Now can you hear me? Can you hear me, Bruce?
Yes.
All right. See, now you're louder. I couldn't. It was interfering too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call him on this so we can just hear out loud. We're not going to be able to see his reaction, which I think would be the more fun part.
Yeah. He seems like a cool guy.
My dad is amazing. He's awesome. Especially because he voted for Trump. Don't talk to if we talk politics. I've been meaning to figure out a way to do chats with him because I think he's super fun. But when we talk, it always goes to politics, and we always end up mad at each other when it's over. You see, like,
okay,
we're really happy right now, and then it's oh shoot, no. I called him video again. I'm just gonna do sound, and then I think you'll be able to hear.
Hello.
All right. Hello. So here, I want you to hear this guy talk about me, okay?
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Needed to press the speaker.
All right. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Now listen to this guy talk about me.
Okay,
I know you were just
okay, here we go.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
threatened with your wife being snuffed out by this boomer degenerate. But what are you doing to help him right now? What are you? I'm sorry. Is this a lawyer? This is a lawyer. This is someone who defends people in a court of law. Could you imagine Rob Reed walking up to like a mugging victim on the stand and be like, "Madam, can I ask you something very seriously? What did you do to help this man?" Why are you asking? He just showed up and tried to mug me. Yeah, I know. He threatened your life and nearly murdered you for a few bucks in your pocket. But what did you do to help him? Tell the court, madam, what you did to help this man.
All right, here's where he attacks me in my upbringing. Hold on.
Can you imagine that? Something whatever appearances Rob Reed has had in an actual court setting where he's actually arguing might be incredibly comical. Truly. I think if we were to watch this man argue, it might be just some regular good, hilarious lawyer fail content. This is a truly impressively degenerate, stupid man of the highest order. This is reeking of an overprivileged, silver spoon-fed mouth for the entirety of his life. This is one of the most fattened trust fund babies that I've ever seen in quite a hot minute. And trust me, I've learned to have a look for him, especially having seen quite a few in my area. Oh, I know the look of a pudgy, overprivileged, pasty white California super liberal trust fund baby. If I've seen one, I know one. Absolutely. And Rob Reed is completely disconnected from any semblance of actual terrestrial living and struggle altogether. So let's just make sure that not only after Bruce is threatening lives,
All right, Daddy, you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. Is this a monologue or is this person going to talk?
Oh, he's just talking. He does videos. He's doing videos about. He's talking about this one guy who's my friend. That he's trying to play the victim when he said he was got into this argument with this particular character. Okay, and the guy put my friend in a position where my friend's heart was hurt, and he felt like he was having a panic attack, and his heart was hurting. So he didn't know what was happening there. So I was trying to be nice to my friend, make sure my friend's okay. And so this particular character is condemning me. So did you hear him? He called me. He knows it when he sees it. He knows exactly that I'm a pudgy, overprivileged California liberal super trust fund baby, fattened trust fund baby. So what do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about that?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the opposite is true. You did not grow up privileged. Your dad came from the UK. He went to Vietnam. He was a radio operator in Pleiku, Central Highlands. He came back. He couldn't get a job because he wasn't born here. So off he went to, I'm going to go on a bit. Off he went to Valley College, trying to get some kind of a degree to do better. But I was turned down. Even I said, wait, I was turned down for government jobs in civilian life. And I said, but I had a secret clearance in Vietnam. But you're not a citizen. Oh, all right. So I could have, I had better education than most people in this country by far, because a high school education in England is equivalent to at least 2-3 years of college here. I know that. That's why I just was a whiz kid when I went to Valley College. So, and we struggled. We struggled for a lot of years. We struggled. And then things got better because, I went to, I was a blue collar worker for all of those years, all of them. And, but there we are. We struggled.
Yeah, but you bought a big house in 1974. It was a massive house, and I was able to live off the teat. It was like $1 million house, wasn't it?
1974.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1 million. Yeah, 1974. We bought on the Calvet loan. I had a 4.4% loan because it was one of the things as a Vietnam vet I got a privilege to do that, and I was able to get a 4.4 Calvet loan to move into a house for 24,000.5.
Oh, I thought it was 20,000.
No, it was 24,5.
Oh, so we were really living large then, larger than I thought.
Right. Well, the following year, the property prices skyrocketed by comparison from 1974 to 75. So that 24.5 house, at almost 25,000, became 50,000.
Wow. So it was a $50,000 house?
$50,000 house. Yeah.
And what was it? It was like 6,500 square feet?
It was about 1,300.
No, it was like 900. When the person that bought it after.
No, it wasn't 900. It was a little bit more than that. I say 13, probably an exaggeration.
No.
It was probably in between. Maybe 11 was okay. We'll say 11. I think it was more like 12.
No, I remember. It's listed because I've seen the house on Redfin, and it's listed at like 1,300 square feet now. But remember, the people that bought it from you, they added on. Remember?
He was a builder, and in terms of what it was paid for, 24.5, it went for like 50,000 in 2000.
Wow. In 2000, like
Do you have any
200,000.
wallpaper? Do you have any wallpaper in the bathroom?
Well, yeah, it was way
Yeah,
before.
Dad. Hold on. Did we have any wallpaper in the bathroom?
Did we have wallpaper in the bathroom? No, we had no wall. No, I don't believe so.
But we did. We had those 70s. Remember, like you crocheted wall hanging and stuff. You crocheted that cool Jewish wall hanging.
Oh yeah. I crocheted that Jewish wall unit. Yes, I did. It took me weeks and weeks.
See,
and weeks to do.
I wanted to leave open the possibility for this guy because you did crochet to tell you, a Vietnam veteran, that you're a soy boy.
Well, I learned how to crochet a rug. It was a rug. I learned how to do it.
Yeah, but see, now he knows where I get he calls me a faggot. So now he knows where I get it, Dad.
Well, you ain't no faggot because you chip off the old block. Your dad took on
Well, yeah, but this guy will later say that he knows that he doubts my sexuality.
Well, that's one thing I don't doubt because I know that you.
Hey, don't get into details now. It's a Christian channel.
Oh, it's a Christian show. Well, no, you were well behaved. You were amazing.
See, look, I didn't have to pay him for that. All right, Dad. What I'm going to do is I'll call you a little bit later. I'll call you on the way home.
It was good hearing you.
At the end of this, I'm a Vietnam vet. I'm a tough guy. I've been fired at, I've been shot at, I've been bombed, rocketed, and the rest of it. And I raised the most amazing children on the history of planet Earth. And I'm going to say my greatest contribution to planet Earth is just that. You don't think politically like I do. I used to be different. I used to be a little, but then I realized there was so much hypocrisy in political people, and I got turned off by them. And yes, I did vote for Trump. I could never vote for a Clinton.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Say no more. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You're preaching to the choir here.
One thing you're not, you ain't no faggot.
One thing I'm not, that's my dad. So your retort to this gentleman is, one thing that Rob Reed is not is he ain't no faggot. That's a quote from my father.
No faggot. Nah, you ain't no faggot. No, man.
Okay.
You know what? I was taking a full camera. That's where I learned to.
All right. No more details. All right, Dad. Love you. I'll call you later.
I love you too.
All right. Bye, Dad. Bye. Okay. That was my soy boy father. That was fun, a little bit unscripted, and he confirmed everything that I said. So that he didn't. Yeah. I mean, I said a little bit more details. So I want to listen, see if we can get to the part where Smokey calls me or he insinuates my sexuality. You ready?
Yeah.
Hopefully you're still there.
Make sure, number one, that he's okay, and that the person he threatened has done something tangible to make sure that he would help him in this moment. Those are the priorities from the big, virtuous California liberal Christian lawyer, Rob Reed. You're welcome, everyone. Yeah, that's a nice little bonus in this clip. I hope you enjoy that.
It's the bonus.
Oh, he is! Wow! I want you guys to realize the double standard, hypocritical garbage.
You're not on the internet.
You know what, Bruce? Bruce, your victim status.
Max.
Bruce, your victim status does not excuse you being a horrible human being and a disgusting, low-character piece of trash. That's just who you are. And guess what? The fact you have anxiety issues, the fact that you have personal problems, doesn't it?
It's gone now.
I'm wondering.
People are feeling pretty good.
I'm wondering.
I feel pretty good now.
I'm wondering what he means. He says the fact that
now it hardly went away. You know why? Because I think I'm in that mode where sort of like if you were here right in front of me.
Is it because you're pretending?
Bad, dude.
Is it because this is part of your victim status and you just kind of
What
pretend
about
to make it
walking
worse than
away
it is?
earlier, Bruce? You were going to walk away earlier?
He's
Is that what you said?
I mean, I don't know. I'm learning a lot of weird things
okay.
about Bruce. I mean, I don't know. Are you guys all of the type that you think anxiety issues in someone is perfectly permissible and justifiable to put out death threats? Because I don't think I put out death threats to anyone. That's a new one.
You are on the internet like way miles away, where it's a way different time, right?
Oh, you're saying you don't have anything to worry about. You're too far away.
I would say it's not death threats, Smokey, but you speak a lot of death. You do not speak life. Your tongue has gotten the better of you. You're a mean, cruel person. And for that to be a label to a Christian person, it just doesn't fit.
I just said I'd murder you if you were in front of me. So if you happen to run into,
Did you hear that? I just said I'd murder you if you were in front of me. That's pretty effeminate. Like when you do a fake voice, it's pretty darn effeminate. I don't know. Is that like what an alpha male is supposed to talk like?
me in real life somewhere, you'd murder me, is your statement.
How would an agoraphobic find you? Dude, knock it off.
Well, no, I mean, you basically said, hey, if you were here,
I only leave the house, except for all the times I told you.
So if we
have
happen to somehow, you said you leave your house on occasion. So, and you know what I look like now. So if we happen to have a confrontation in real life somewhere, would you take over and just murder me?
My whole
victim card revoked.
Point is, if I tell you that I just had a major panic attack and I had chest pains, and you start calling me names,
maybe don't come
really
back to the computer with names. I just said, hey, you know something probably not a good thing to do when you're having an anxiety attack is just do a quick sprint.
Probably not a good thing to do when somebody's having a panic attack and you double down on all of the diatribe you were saying to get the person into a panic attack, especially if you claim to be a Christian. That's
the very thing that might cause your anxiety attack to be worse.
Well, and then cry victim on top of it. Wait a minute. Wait, I have to be honest. Let me ask you this quick. Quick, serious question. Am I playing victim in this by any chance? I mean, like, was I looking for sympathy when I said I had a panic attack, or
no? I think you were saying why you left, and you were trying to calm down, I think. And
I was trying to calm down, but I was ticked off as could be. I didn't want to be ticked off, and it's like I was suffering. Like two different.
You were taking basically what he was doing is he. I mean, I don't know what the underlying context is.
Let me explain. There's two things going on. Like one side of me is like, wow, man, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. Like, gee, many crickets. It's like hurt in my chest and across my into my shoulder. Like, this isn't good. Like, I don't know. Should we go to the doctor? Should I do this? Should I do that? I left the hangout sitting. I felt bad about that. And so I'm in more of a, at that point, I'm generally more passive. And then here's this moron poking and prodding at me. How do you not get mad at that? You know, I mean, I guess I could have just walked away, but I was trying to be decent and just stay there. I'm thinking, like, why in the world is this dude, like, doesn't he have any freaking sympathy?
Here's what happens with the flesh.
What was going in my mind.
You didn't want to let him, because he just kept on, and you didn't want to let him believe as he left that he had harmed you. You know, you wanted to, it's the pride. This is just a guess. I can't speak for you, but this would be me. Like if I felt that way and my pride was taken over, I'd be like, I want to make sure this idiot who has caused me this pain is not going to be able to walk away and enjoy it and then point fingers at me after. But of course, here he is. This is what he does. It's not really a Christian thing to do.
You know, it's just weird.
And that's softening it. It is not a Christian thing to do. So anyway, let's go. Let's continue and listen.
No, I don't think it's.
When I get to where he talks about my sexuality, and then we're going to go.
Yeah, when he does this to other people and such, personally, it reminds me of more of what I would consider demonic behavior. I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, it's very evil. You know.
Yeah, this is more demonic than somebody cackling at you and pretending to be possessed and playing like you in a voodoo video to Almighty Wind. Okay.
Well, that's screwball garbage. He's serious.
Chewing on cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's for real.
Let's keep listening to the
either he's being honest or he's a liar. Either he really thinks it's about people and he's that messed up in the head, or he's lying. Either one.
I don't think it's either or there. It's non-binary in that sense. It is. I think that it is about him feeling better for his own failings, and he attacks other people because he hates himself. And the only thing that feeds his flesh, his hatred of himself, is his ability to make other people in his mind feel as badly as he does inside.
I think I just want to add something like this. I think I remember talking with him once about this, that I said, you can't fool yourself. And I said, you can't fool God. And I was talking about in relation the faith and such. But I think he believed you could fool yourself. And what I was trying to get at was, in general, like in situations like this, if you think beating up other people will build your esteem, it's real shallow. You know, like you can't really fool yourself. I mean, you will always know better. I think deeper in your mind, I think you know better. That's my opinion.
Imagine who you're saying that to, though. It's an individual who only appears on screen in a cloak with smoke face and with a fake name.
Yeah.
So, you know, how can you convince somebody like that to you can't fool anybody when it's his whole shtick? And his whole shtick is to get caught and actually be on Jesse Lee Peterson's show. There's no doubt it's him. Any reasonable person can see that. And he has to say, no, it's just breadcrumbs. It's not me. I'm the one that planted that. It's some guy that sounds like me. That's just like Thick Shades and the cousin, Dama Wong, right?
Right.
He and Thick Shades are like two peas in a pod. It's hilarious to me. But anyway, let's keep going.
That's advisable. That, you know what, Bruce, that was the thing to do. It wasn't to go to the bedroom, lay down, calm down, splash water in your face, take some deep breaths, get out of your brain. That wasn't the answer. The answer was, in mid-panic attack, to run to the computer with all manner of swiftness to address me and virtue signal, victim signal about your horrible, tough time of having an anxiety attack. That was, you know what? Yes. You know what? Does anyone else believe that's what someone definitely going through a real panic attack definitely does. You know what they do?
No, this is making me laugh because he now knows he's an expert on it, right? I think I was gone for probably 10 minutes at least, maybe more, you know. Wasn't I? I was gone for a while.
I honestly don't remember. I think it's maybe 10 to 20 minutes. I don't remember. I just remember I felt that you came in, like after the fact I thought about it, I thought you came in because you were trying to help me actually, and I really appreciated it. I didn't need it.
I felt bad that I left you sitting there. I felt bad I left you there. I invited
No, because it was basically that I recall it was me versus Smokey Saint and Nick. And I was trying to speak truth and life to them, and they would not have it. And Nick had to find out the hard way. That's all.
Right, I felt bad about the whole situation. You know,
yeah, Nick was, you know, the truth was exposed to him eventually, and that's why I say God always wins in the end. So, and thank God, you know, Nick, who I think is a Christian guy, he just was maybe a little lost on some thinking as it relates to how we treat other people. You know, thinking that the Elijah send the bears on the teenagers is the right way for us to act. But anyway, let's keep going.
You know what they do is they run towards a social interaction. That's how you know they're telling the truth, right? Right? That's how that works, right?
Come on, get to my sexuality.
No. Oh, that's the opposite of how it works? Oh, okay. Interesting. Isn't that amazing? I'm just going to come back to the mic. And I'm just going to make sure everyone knows that I am due some sympathy right now. I'm
just going to get on my video and do that because I think he's already made a response video to this. I'm just going to, because I'm not getting enough views, I'm going to make another video where I'm talking about how Bruce wants to murder me. And I'm so worried. And by the way, his friend, I'm so worried his friend is just supporting it, this Rob Reed, lousy lawyer guy. And I want to get all of the attention I can. Look, oh, please help me. Some people want to murder me on the internet. Same thing, dude. Projection.
Victim points.
Victim points.
I require everyone to know via method of advertisement that I'm undergoing an anxiety situation right now of an anxiety panic attack. And my solution is to come back here and tell all of you and potentially induce myself to an...
Yeah, he's making the argument that it was silly for you to come back. And I would say, Bruce, I would agree with him on this because he knows he's an asshole. And he knows that he's going to hurt you further. And he can't help himself. You see?
Yeah, I mean, to come back and maybe have to just explain, hey, sorry, guys, you know, this is, hey, whatever, I gotta get going, whatever, you know, I'm sorry about that being gone. And had it worked like I was hoping, like with human beings, I'm sorry to say that, but no, really. I kind of
Yeah,
expected
I mean, I would
to
like
pull it down and let it go.
if Smokey was so mad at you that he couldn't like get any nice thing out, like from a Christian perspective, the Holy Spirit, I think, would lead an average Christian in that sense to be like, you know what, I need to get out of here. You know, if I'm even if this guy's lying, I don't want to represent my God in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't give a crap. You know, like this guy, what if you died? What if you did have a heart attack or something? And then this video is the remnant. This is the last moment of your life. I thank God it wasn't. But if it was, you know, he doesn't know that. He can make the assumption, but we all die at some point. And
I wouldn't be here discussing it.
You're no longer a spring chicken anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I know. But I wouldn't even be here talking about it now.
Yeah, yeah. So Projection City, Mr. Victim Card himself, the whole video here itself is look at me and look at how effective my ministry is, because people want to persecute me, and not only persecute me, but kill me.
Environment of even more anxiety. This is the answer. This was the big brain moment. And you have a room full of some of just the most, you know, brilliant people that little community can offer. And they all think this was perfectly reasonable. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
What was perfectly reasonable? That basically he said they all think this is perfectly reasonable. What do you think he's commenting on? The fact that I asked him to be nice? Oh, Cheryl needs a rent.
Cheryl says, she says it's your fault, Bruce, that you make me abuse you.
I'll give Cheryl a wrench.
I said, I'm sorry, Cheryl.
The whole thing is, forgive me because it's about
your
to.
fault, Bruce. That you I get it. I know that was Smokey imitation. I know, but it's still fun.
No one's kicked her though or anything, because I don't think I have any trolls that are.
No, she wasn't abusing me. She was saying Smokey was abusing me. No, never mind. No, she's not kicked.
All right, let's go back. I'm waiting for my sexual. I got to go home.
I have to get on with the sexual stuff.
Of course, all of this just makes perfect sense, right, guys? Just all makes absolutely perfect sense. It does to me. Does anyone disagree? It's just
a good audience, isn't it?
Probably wouldn't survive.
I don't care about your claims. What was that? Beat the shit out of me, and I probably wouldn't survive.
I tell you, I just had a major panic attack. I had chest pains, and you start calling me names. Thank you for running back to do that. You really think I would just let
what names? I just for making sure everyone knew that.
Probably wouldn't survive.
I don't care about one more time.
Probably wouldn't survive.
Oh really? Oh, what was that? One more time,
panic attack, and I had chest pains.
More time.
Is there something like he's talking over? I can't even understand what he's saying.
And you start calling me names. You really think I would just let
what names? I just said you're thinking shot out of me.
Probably wouldn't survive.
I don't. He would beat the shit out of me, and I probably wouldn't survive. Anyone think Bruce should have stopped talking maybe about 5 minutes ago? I kind of think so. I don't care about your claims of.
I think you should have stopped talking ages ago. Maybe not make this victim card look at me attention whore video.
Your anxiety issues as your justification. Who thinks Bruce is still a really nice Christian man? What's like the stooge?
Oh, the hell with him. All right, I got to go to bed.
Bruce, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Bruce, that we have you here in this community to prove as the standard and moral conscience by which we should all operate by. I'm so glad you've decided to reveal yourself.
So it's projection all over again. What a sad man.
And condemn everyone that has a certain spectrum of communication that you disagree with. Even though prophets and actual apostles use similar colloquial expressions and idioms,
see, he wants to say that prophets used the same colloquialisms, not even close, and not constantly, and not for the reasons. Like when the prophets, in the few instances you'll find in the Bible, when they did that. When you saw Jesus, for instance, flip tables, not a prophet, but I mean, like when he got mad with his righteous anger, there were real instances where he needed to do that. When he encountered people and it was when he was attacking people, it was the whitewashed tombs. It was the people like Smokey. Smokey's very pharisaical. When Jesus encountered a fornicator, a whore, a woman who had 6 husbands, and the one she was with, she wasn't married to, he didn't call her a slag and whore. He was kind to her. He gave her attention when everyone else wouldn't. And he took something from her. I'm thinking about Samaritan. I'm not sure if I'm crossing stories there. But the point is, he told the woman that was sinning, who was the whore slag that Smokey would have called her, he just said, go and sin no more. And it's
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you have a way to unblock Smokey saying it's a high-level narcissist?
He's blocked?
Yeah, it was an accident. That's all. No big deal. Somebody accidentally blocked them.
Oh, yeah. I think I do. Let me see. So Bella.
It was an accident. She's waiting for her surgery. I think she said in October.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Good.
I just unhid him, so I think that worked. But good to see you, Sabella. So you're waiting for the surgery? Is that what she said? I'm too busy trying to defend my sexuality. I'm waiting for the commentary. Hold on, let's see.
In those instances where I've proven you wrong, proven you to actually being insulting actual biblical instruction, you just continue to dig in and continue with your nonsense because you're a desperate, stupid failure of a man. In life and spirituality, it just reeks off you. And it is about time. It is about time that you start to wake up to some of it. You're of every bit of the same detestable gutter trash that Bill is. And Bill is one of the most disgusting human beings that I've come across. And guess what, Bruce? Yeah, there's a dossier on YouTube. There really is. You know, I haven't felt the need to use it or do anything scummy with it.
Dossier.
Very scummy things to me, Bruce. No.
Only beta males say dossier or wannabe spies.
I don't want to repay evil for evil. If I'm going to do something, it has to have opportunistic value with good justification through spiritual instruction. So I don't simply fly off the hip like you and your detestable spiritual cannibalistic degenerates over there, constantly trying to validate each other until you realize, oh no, there are things you disagree with, and all of a sudden the morality that you posture so essentially starts to get thrown out the window very, very fast. You become traitors, you become gossipers, you become backbiters, you become everything that you claim to go out of your way to fight to condemn. You people are all disgusting. You're all a bunch of stupid, idiotic, wicked frauds, and you need to repent and come to the actual truth and just wake the hell up.
Come to the actual truth, wake the hell up, and do that to the right people.
None of you had, which is why you need to worship the flesh to get what you want, because you're not walking in the spirit.
Projection.
Everything I say about you, everything I carry through observation and argumentation, you cannot help yourselves, but just rush to validate it at every given opportunity. You people are absolutely disgusting.
That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You know, he's like, I imagine Smokey saying in an all Mormon gay men's choir chorus Shakespeare play, and he is Hamlet. To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it's just nobler to seek outrageous fortune, suffer slings and arrows. I forget how it goes. But hello. This is about as hello as you can get.
Oh,
right?
God. You know what it reminds me of? You know, I should have worked on the accent when I did that thing with Levite with the nosy old lady thing. You know, and I think it's. Man, I'm starting to worry about myself. Holy heck.
Yeah,
my dad didn't bring us no dang on. No, never mind. My dad would have said the same thing.
Yeah. We're revealing ourselves. You show your face here, you know, in this video that we've got. You always show your face. I'm showing my face. And he's a cartoon. And we're the problem. We're the ones that are unrighteously judging. He's the righteous judge. by calling me,
Oh.
let's say, a bad lawyer because I said be nice.
You know what I saw, Rob, and I am truly offended by this. My shirt.
Exactly. Oh, there you are. Wait, hold on.
There's dirt and junk all over my shirt. Like I was like sweating in garbage, wiping my face in this. But I'm sorry. I apologize for being so
I bet you don't even
foul.
play guitar. See, like the version of you'd be similar to Smokey Saint if you, in fact, didn't play guitar and everything you played was just like like a voiceover, but it was a guitar over. You really can't play. You have some other music playing in the background. You're pretending.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much that is the analogy of Smokey's Christianity.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to picture Smokey like with no, I'm not. I know we're making fun of him, but I am trying to picture him like covered with dirt and stuff. And maybe. I mean, maybe he like works. Maybe does construction work, or he's out digging.
This is so cartoonish. This is just let's listen to this again. I mean, it's just
you might like cinder block or something for all I know. You know,
what have you had? Which is why you need to worship the flesh to get what you want, because you're not walking in the spirit. Everything I say about you, everything I carry through observation and argumentation, you cannot help yourself.
I'm like Tommy, St. Tommy.
To validate it at every given.
It's disgusting.
You people are absolutely disgusting.
His horrible behavior. Your victim doesn't justify your horrible, and that's not a good thing. I understand the level of you just
see. So I wanted to make, because I knew that you see, Smokey had said in his commentary, he said like I had nothing to say about that, like as if it was okay. So I say something about it, and I say something about it because I'm a reasonable person, and any reasonable person is very clear that someone on the internet 3,000 miles away from the other person who's being threatened, it's not an imminent, horrible threat. When somebody says, if you were in front of me, I would kill you, he didn't like go like point a gun, he didn't take a blade and go like, I would do this. He wanted to wring your neck, choke you to death. Okay.
Well, I'm not really. I'm anger. Well, actually, I'm really.
You were mad. The point is, you were mad. So knowing how.
Well, he does say further in the video that I'm a threat. I'm a threat. I'm thinking, well, then why don't I ever deal like with this kind of crap? I mean, I do go outside. I do. I have been out plenty. And he added like, did I talk in the past? Like I've gone out. Well, I wasn't always like having that much of a hard time being out, and I always do push myself. So I'd be out playing with motorcycles or driving or walking around. I mean, I walk around and talk with people, whatever. But some dang reason, it's like I don't know why. He does.
He wants
nobody acts like that, and I also don't act like that. I haven't been in trouble like this. Why is that? People don't act like that. So.
Well, the only reason that me was the same reason why he's making this video. You know, he wants to bait, so he baited. He got me. So you got some fire now. You got, but the reason I mentioned the death of what I knew was ridiculous commentary from the opportunist who getting stung was going to use that against me for trying to help you, Bruce, as opposed to trying to help my poor dear Smokey. Must be so worried about getting death, being murdered at the hands of you. I didn't say that, but I knew I needed to say something. So I'm being patronizing to him, and he fails to see that. Will Kincaid years later,
I hear
this, some sarcastic thing. He fails to patronize. I made this thing that's I go. My point is,
are you driving or what? It's roboting.
No,
robot.
Must be lagging.
Yeah, it's lagging like
I think I'm lagging. Can you hear me?
Well, maybe turn your audio or your video off a second and see if it's better.
All right, let me see if that's better. Probably.
Dr. Robotin.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, that was a Roboto. I hear you. You sound good.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, real
good.
No.
Yeah, the point I'm making is I was being patronizing to him in saying this because I knew he was going to use it. And he did before he forgot that I mentioned this before. So when I mention it, he and Will Kincaid later, and I don't think we're going to get that far, he makes fun of that when I say that. But I'm being patronizing knowing that this opportunist guy who beats the bee's nest and complains when he gets stung in order to have fodder for his shock jock material stupid channel. I threw him a bone. In other words, I threw his stupidity a bone. No, and it was predictable stupidity. So I said, let me make sure that I state for the record that death threats are not good. That is patronizing to go, okay, Smokey, I know you're going to say, why didn't Rob say anything to Bruce? Instead, he's attacking me, but he threatened to murder me. You know, that's called the victim card, and Smokey, victim status, victim card revoked.
Not as bad as it is, just not a good thing. Not illegal. I mean, you are a lawyer.
Hey, I got to admit, and here, let me tell you something to add to this. So, in all honesty, he's the guy that's quite a few times has told people, hey, if you want to meet up with me, you're not mad at me, whatever, I'll meet you. He tells people where about he lives. He gives within 20 miles of whatever he says, 20, 50 miles of blah, blah, blah. He'll tell people where he lives. It's like if he's that dang worried about it, he wouldn't be doing that. You know?
Well, and he is worried about it, which is why he knows that he can't get away with this stuff. He's going to get somebody who is mentally ill to, if he continues to say this stuff, to harm him. I mean, it's stupid.
Then what's he going to get from that? That'd be pretty stupid.
Well, subscribers.
Well, you know, he's on the internet. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, if he keeps treating people like that, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people you would like to think that if they, I guess by the time they get there, you think hopefully they cool down or something, if they even considered such a stupid thing.
Listen, I think we're getting close to the end. I just want to get to the sexuality part.
The reality is he does this crap on the internet. We know that.
Yeah, there we go.
It's just not a good thing. Not possibly a criminal action at all. No.
No, it's not. It's a criminal action if you have a reasonable belief that it's going to happen. And you, in your commentary here, laughed at the notion. Exhibit A.
Thank you for tendering your legal advice to them. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Worse.
You're welcome.
But from a guy that professes Christ, I certainly hold him to a higher standard, and I will say that he didn't do much to make me disagree with anything that I've heard.
What I do. I think
your standard is not judging people.
See how it's freaking fly.
My standard is not judging people. No, it's not. I'm judging the hell out of you.
Does he judge people? No.
Yeah, but I'm judging him in this video. So is he trying to tell me that the Christian standard is not judging? And so is that a admission that he's not Christian? Is that what he's saying? I don't understand.
Right.
Or is he straw manning me, saying I'm making an argument you can't judge people? And I've never said that. Not to him, I don't think. And if I did, I'm wrong.
Someone inside chat, I told him I didn't think it was necessary, but someone inside chat says they reported it. I guess to YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, that was one of the trolls, Smokey. They reported it, and so obviously, Smokey, we even have a report. And when did this happen? Like 7 months ago? Did it even happen this year? It might have been the end of last year. So Smokey's revisiting something that happened at least a half year ago, if not more. And called the cops.
I really at the time thought about calling the cops. I mean, if they had called the cops, well, then maybe I'll just go ahead and call. That way, it's a record on both sides.
Yeah. Did you go to jail? You say that actually right here. But so now somebody called the cops, and if there was any confirmation needed, we actually have somebody who called the cops and nothing happened. And why did nothing happen? Because it wasn't illegal, buddy.
I'll call him. I'll call him right now.
He hit the video immediately after.
Call the police and tell him what happened.
I have a major panic
Well,
attack.
well
Good thing I
said I
ran
didn't think
back
it
and
was
recorded
necessary.
the
So if
screen.
you're asking me, then no.
Maybe you ought to just shut your ass up for a minute. It is my phone
You
call.
could sue him, Bruce, for causing you to have major panic attack.
See, he laughs at that. The funny thing is, substantial arguments can be made. Like the hardest tortious claim that's out there, and it's one of the silliest, and a lot of tort attorneys put it on there, is something called negligent infliction of emotional distress, right? We have enough evidence here easily, and with a lot of other people, for Smokey to get sued for intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is a easier claim. And especially it's easy when you actually see people going out of their way to hurt people. Right, there's so much evidence of Smokey going out of his way to hurt people that it is less of a laugh than his death threat claim is criminal. The laugh here should be to Smokey's claim there's a death threat. This is the same cackle he made when he was analyzing it a half hour ago.
Going through.
He could sue
Now,
me. He could sue me.
If you were standing in front of me,
Again, he says he could sue me.
you damn well know how that would go. So come on, let's get real. First of all, he wouldn't do that to me in real life, would he?
He wouldn't do that to anybody. He
Nope.
wouldn't do it to anybody. That's what makes his behavior.
Because he's a soy boy.
This dude's a freaking idiot.
He has bravery when he's a cartoon.
He couldn't preach.
Oh, am I an idiot? Do
Yes.
idiots get you to expose yourself?
All I know is I don't
Is
want.
that something idiots
I mean,
do?
Nicholas, I'm glad you're there. You know, again, we talked about persons of peace. I think you have a very Christ-like person of peace demeanor, which is the way I think it should be. And Nicholas is a person of peace for Smokey, and my God, does he need those people around?
Still does.
You know where you are.
I can't allow this right now to be playing. I cannot have people wake up, come downstairs, and turn on a computer and hear this crap. It can't go on in there. No, you know, like what we're arguing about. You know, you wonder why I say the shit I say. Look at this. Oh, he's been threatened. Oh, he's been. Look at this.
And what I love about this is the person who made a comment there about you, calling you Brucette, he got himself into a little legal trouble shortly after. I'll leave it at that. Let's see what Smokey has to say.
What's wrong with you people? This is another Christian. This is another Christian, a believer. What the heck kind of mockery is this? And you're worried about me that's willing to beat the shit out of somebody that's mocking me and laughing at me when I tell them that.
Was that a comment that came up on the inside screen or what?
From your craziness.
What was that, Bruce?
Well, I didn't see there was a comment. Oh, I see.
It says you will let that pathetic piece of trash on your panel. You are a piece of shit.
Right. I get it. I can see it now. Yeah.
Well, if I may say so,
I'll just say that there's a what do you call it? There's a booking photo out there. Somebody looks very much like martial arts Shama, who was accused. It's alleged that he harmed a child, not sexually, but physically hit a child. Well, let's leave that as is. That's the source there.
you decided.
I think the reason that Bruce constantly says that I wouldn't say this to someone's face in a public place is because that Bruce is actually a criminal. And he knows that if someone said something to him in a public place, a place that he didn't like or thought was over the line, that he would engage in actual criminal activity and beat that person.
Now, you see, there's an allegation that Smokey was charged with something for harming a child. We've got the guy that he's laughing and glad that came into the chat to say something bad to you, who also had a similar allegation. I don't know how that closed out, though.
Yeah, I think.
Talk about criminal once again projection.
Yeah, I mean, I had a guy come after me with a metal fence post. He just randomly decided to pick on people, and
yeah, these are guys.
I was told I did well. And like years later, the guy thanked me. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess I did respond, but anyhow, no, I don't have any history of anything like that, Smokey. But then on the other hand, most people don't act like this in real life. I suppose that the actual threat I've seen a few times in life. Yeah. Oh,
I
well.
would forward Smokey, as it relates to me, to my good friend Thick Shades, who found my criminal record in Texas, where I think I stole a car.
That's right.
So Sam's got all the information for you.
Gosh, I got it mixed up. That's where the Maserati was. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been there. I think that's when I got my Maserati. And I
Yeah.
I demanded it because I'm entitled, because I had a silver. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Yeah.
Point that Bruce has no actual morals. He doesn't. He has no self-control, which means he lacks the fruit of the spirit. Which means he's simply attempting to say that no, there's some stuff that I will arbitrarily decide as a moral justification that someone could possibly say to me that would justify me. Well, basically beating them to death, which is exactly what he has specifically said. So this is Bruce clearly
victim card revoked,
clearly admitting to basically being a motivated criminal in terms of his conduct in certain instances. Bruce is actually done, I think, pretty tangible argument that he's actually a potential hazard to society. He doesn't have the ability to control himself. So yes, Bruce is an actual dangerous man.
Right. And that's what my history shows, right? Like my whole life history doesn't show anything like that. So shut up.
I talked to my lawyer.
See, so here's Bruce is a dangerous man. So here's Will coming in. I guess we are going to get some Will. Will starts out, I talked to my lawyer and
Smokey, and it's his professional legal opinion that death threats are bad.
see, once again, they're going like as if I was giving a professional opinion. I was being patronizing, and reasonable people will be able to figure that out.
I still come back to that he couldn't be here. I can't see him in real life. He's not going to talk to me like that in real life. And that was just kind of my point, is knock off the game here on the internet, calling people names, mocking them, laughing at them. I mean, this is uncool. It's really, it's cruel. And with some people, look, I'm not trying to be an idiot, but, you know, I'll be a soy face or something for a bit. But it does matter. There's probably women and men who have been hurt by this guy, probably people in tears by now.
No doubt.
If he's proud of himself, fine.
He is.
And he wants to cry because somebody gets pissed off at him and yells back at him. This is ridiculous. You know, he's got to knock it off. I mean, if you're going to go
somebody that's as inhuman as he is as it relates to Bill, I don't care how much Bill's hurt him, to go and say the things that he does about Bill and his family is just it's indescribable. In other words, like it's about as evil and demonic as you can get. Talking about self-control and fruit of the spirit. The fruit of the spirit of somebody who can say the words that this Smoky Saint says to Bill and his family, it can't live in a soul that can say that freely. And many times, I think that somebody can get in the flesh and make a mistake. A Christian will be led to apology, will be led to, and I'm not going to use the word repentance, but will be led to a feeling of contrition for saying, how could I possibly? It's somebody that does not understand the magnitude of the love that somebody would have for their child, which is somebody who cannot possibly have an understanding of the love that God would have for us, and therefore is about as psychopathic, sociopathic as you can get. So Smokey needs a ton of prayer. And I hope that he's saved. I hope that he is everything he says he is. I'm not one to doubt salvation. I don't go that far with my judgment, but I will judge somebody when they're acting opposite of what a Christian should do. And I especially will judge somebody when they allege to be Christian, but go out of their way to be evil. That's the problem. So Smokey projection is not fooling me and shouldn't fool the average reasonable person. And the only sad thing I have, and I'm sorry to cut into you, is the fact that you don't have enough people in your chats to call you out on that. Instead, they enable you. And that, sir, is called a sycophant. You have the sycophants. What were you saying, Bruce?
Oh, it's I felt bad. The guy was presenting things about him that weren't true, you know, as far as like his deal with Jesse Lee Peterson, whatever. And so I find it odd that, like, you know, I have a desire to stick up for Smokey even at times, just because somebody presents something that's wrong. I think that's wrong. But I mean, that guy though, I mean, there is no doubt that I don't know. It's just, I still can't get over the things he will say to people. And like he said to Bill, I'm like, that was when I was done. I just said, forget it. Like, I won't try to help him anymore. This guy, he's like lacking a heart or something. I mean, or he's purposely, I think he does actually want to purposely cause trouble. Like, I think he knew he'd get a horrible reaction and he was purposely hunting for it, you know? I think he does it on purpose, and that, just so he can make videos like he is, saying, "Oh,
well, I told you, I honestly believe in order for him to feel better about himself, he needed to create the alpha male that he is not in real life, and it's this person, phantom.
But an alpha male wouldn't say, you know that. A real alpha male wouldn't say you murdered your daughter or something. They would feel bad. Like, I mean, really, a person that was secure in themselves and a tough kind of gutsy guy, he wouldn't do that. Only gosh, I feel bad. Like, I don't know how else to describe this, but only an asshole would do that. Sorry.
A beta.
But seriously.
A supreme beta male that is more concerned about his own lack of self-esteem than he is about the feelings of others. He wants to. The only way that he can build himself up.
Oh, yeah, beta. But I mean, yeah, an alpha. Okay, I'm talking alpha. Heck, I don't even know the name, so I forget, so I don't care. But I mean, an alpha male though would never act. Not that, I mean, I guess some of the egotistical, whacked out sort, maybe, who really did think they were better than others. I don't know. Maybe. But I doubt it. Like, I mean, guys I think we look at that you have respect for, that we will call the alpha male, whatever. They don't act like that. Like, it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like you said, maybe it's the beta fighting to be an alpha, or I don't know what is. I don't even like to think about that stuff. Why didn't you just act like
the man behind the mask is a supreme beta male suffering with major sexuality issues, and Smokey Saint, the cartoon, is alpha, manufactured alpha.
Maybe. But who the heck? I don't even care. Like, I don't care if somebody's beta, they're this, they're alpha, they're whatever, man. Just treat people like a human being, at least.
That's beta. That's beta. If you're too nice, like the J in the Jesse Lee Peterson conversation was very conciliatory, was very long-suffering, was very gentle, was not accusatory, was not judgmental, was everything that we find, had tons of self-control. In the face of getting called names by Jesse Lee Peterson and everything.
He was a likable guy, though.
And that was him with his face on camera. It's so obvious. He has his face on camera. It's obviously his voice. And the real person is totally different than this insane psychopath, sociopath, Smokey Saint cartoon. But sadly, Jesus isn't enough for that person who was interviewed by Jesse Lee Peterson. And the promise of being a child of God, a prince in the kingdom of God, is not enough for him. He needs accolades from other people, and something happened to him mentally. I don't know if he got fired from a job after that. Something happened where he needed to go on his diet and lose weight and all this stuff, and I'm happy he's doing that, getting healthy, hopefully. But all of that, I think, ties in. Smokey, he's trying to shape himself with a new body, and I think he's working on, he wants to get the body that'll be absolutely perfect, and the abs that he talks about that he's getting, right? Once he is, then he's going to go on camera and be everything that he's desiring for himself, which has nothing to do with Jesus. It's all self-motivated because of his self-hatred. So let's.
I did another comment under your name. Sorry, man.
No, that's all right. Let me finish this up. Kincaid comes in. Kincaid comes in, and I think my sexuality comes in shortly after.
Is that true? I was wondering. I wasn't quite sold on it.
I wasn't sure either. That's why I had to call
should we
him.
make? I don't believe it yet. I think we need a third opinion. I'm going to call Cochran's office or something.
Johnny Cochran's dead.
Yeah, just to make extra sure.
For like 15 years.
It's in that.
I'm gonna call Johnny Cochran.
Call Johnny Cochran. I call the NAACP. I call all the liberal leftists, right? So I'm going to tell them.
I don't know if he was a liberal leftist, actually.
I identify as a black man. Now it's a hate crime.
So now he's just making up crap. They're just having fun, making up stuff and talking in their gay, effeminate voices.
True.
You're Jewish. All you gotta do is tell your lawyer you're Jewish.
now identify. I'm gonna make it a super duper hate crime.
That's a true story, by the way.
Yeah.
J-Dub's actually, he ended up almost going to prison, but his lawyer was his fucking rabbi and got him off.
Well, I live in California, and the great thing about living in California is that you can pretty much literally identify with pretty much anything you actually want. So, like, I can actually turn this into a triple hate crime, and all I have to do is simply get my documents changed to that I identify as an African American midget homosexual. And that will they'll all be screwed. They'll go to jail in California.
I, for one, happen to think this was racially motivated. I think it's because you're Jewish.
Oh, you know what? That's true. I do have that piece of Jew in me that everyone just wants to murder. And, well, if you murder that piece, you got to kind of murder the rest.
With this kind of material, there's radio stations just waiting with bated breath to give these guys a job.
So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of a package murder
kind of a
deal
package
situation.
deal. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
It's like the second coming of Abbott and Costello. It's like this is
I was
almost
thinking about. I identify myself as a different person and change my channel name, though, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Like, I could change it to Smokey Saint if I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be in California. You could just go on YouTube and be a guy in a cloak with smoke for a face.
Yeah, just be like my own thing, just be myself.
Yeah, I was doing Brett Keane bits just to myself, as I do frequently, idly. Well, I did the the Folgers jingle. Except I was doing it as
You're boring me, Kincaid. Where's my sexuality?
The bash part
coming.
waking up, we're going back to sleep.
Oh, that's what their imitation is? They think they're doing Brett Keane? Oh my goodness, it's horrible.
I think so, yeah.
Sorry. I'm having a fun night.
Don't make me laugh too much. I'm going to get a headache.
It's basically a gay Brett Keane, thanks to Smokey Saint.
Been straight today, and it's been too terribly
Don't
hot.
make me laugh too much. I'm trying to take Bill seriously.
I still feel mildly feverish. I'm going to have to really get with the.
Does Bill have his fucking truck in Louisiana yet?
Yeah, that's the other ride.
Big wheels keep on turning. Taking me home to kill Smokey.
Taking me home to kill Smokey. Do you see that? I shouldn't have skipped. Let it go. But you heard that Smokey's laughing. You see, the whole notion is comedy for them, and yet Mr. Victim Card makes a video to show people, look at the great work I'm doing for the kingdom. I mean, where's the gay stuff?
Well, actually, it was helpful because what he sent me then basically buried his friend. So because the one part of the story that Bill has never represented to me,
I don't want to deal with that.
Conceded to it. And I'll tell you why and why he wouldn't have said it. Because we all knew at that time when we were arguing with him, we were regaled with how disgusting and reprehensible these scum creatures are. And that's to the benefit of everyone. Because you should not at any point in time ever recognize these complete antichrist degenerate scum.
So what we've established with me is he's making a case that I'm an antichrist degenerate scum. And why? Because I told Smokey he needed to be nice to you. I submit as Exhibit A to the jury. You decide if that qualifies as antichrist. The Bible says differently. You can look up antichrist spirits, one who denies the Christ. Telling another Christian to be nice to someone who says they're hurting is the opposite of antichrist. The expectation is there because the expectation is assumed that the individual claiming Christianity has some semblance of the fruit of the Spirit.
As anything close to a brother in the Lord, no matter what they profess.
It's projection.
I saw something odd today on YouTube. I was watching a live stream and I don't even remember what it was anymore.
Oh, it's so stupid.
So we don't want his channel to go away. But I did tell him if it did, we'll help him rebuild and get viewership back. And even
he was talking about.
God, I've got to tell Kat about the homo, the space.
Chest pain.
Getting a little inundated.
So I went and laid down. Forgive me. You know what I mean? Kind of like forgive me for laying down, for having chest pain and shit.
A little bit easier to.
So I go and lay down. And once I found that went away, I was still shaky when I came back. So I come back. I try to be decent, try to address it. This dumb bastard starts calling me names when I express what I just went through. Then you dumb fucking assholes are saying you're going to call the cops on me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Don't you fucking get it? What is wrong with you? You're defending this bullshit. Tell me, what is wrong with you? You really don't get it, do you?
Defending what? I'm not defending that idiot.
I wasn't defending him. I was just saying that I think you need to take first accountability for whatever disorder or sensitivity you have. You invited him in.
It's a pity.
In other words, you knew Smokey was a monster already. Why did you bring him in? And that's a good point, Nick. But you're confessing that Smokey's a monster as well.
So I'm sorry.
It's a pity, isn't it? Isn't it a pity that I don't have a diagnosed mental illness that I can blame for all of my deviant disgusting?
Well, that remains to be seen, because maybe the guy in the cloak with the smoke face doesn't.
Hypocritical shitbag behavior. That's unfortunate. Bruce is lucky for that.
Yeah, people that have to say these things with a pseudonym, I would say have something to hide.
That wasn't particularly helpful either.
Dumb bastard. We're cops and dumb son of a bitches.
Yeah. That's where they get busted for calling 911.
Like G-Man 911. My God, I gotta go to bed. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you remember that when G-Man called 911 on people on the internet?
When he did what?
He called 911 because people were harassing him on YouTube.
I think I heard that. I never saw it.
Yeah, it really happened. Yeah.
Well, again, that's somebody that has no semblance of reality, much like our friend in the cloak.
It's funny.
Take some deep, slow breaths, and just try to chill out.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm not.
Dale, where was the voice of reason, Dale, through that whole process, man?
Oh,
I don't think I could have gotten a word in edgewise.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I close this, I don't know. I guess okay, that's right. I can actually choose. See, I told you I was sleepy. I can close the YouTube channel. And you can run if you want. It's up. Yeah.
No. We're done. There's no reason.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I don't usually say stuff like that, but I do want it to be. I will leave it up because I know exactly what I did say. That's if you were here. I didn't say I'm going to come kill you.
He didn't leave it up.
If you were here.
He says he's going to leave it up. He didn't leave it up.
I think so. It's not something that I would. It was not.
That's what I heard.
I understand. Your anger was he kept provoking you, and so we go to scripture.
Well, I don't even want to hear scripture right now because I don't know.
That's what I was. Everything I said already. That's what I was going to bring up.
I don't know why I didn't want to hear. I should have listened to you read that. Really, I don't know why.
You were frustrated. I got it. You're frustrated. And in fact, it was the wrong thing for me to suggest to somebody that is, in a bad place at that point with somebody that is pointing fingers at him that claims Christianity. Is like last thing I want to throw out is to try and review scripture.
I thought about that because I heard him talking about this and I thought, why did I say that? And I'm thinking it probably did have something to do with him and Nicholas and the other guy who came in. That whole discussion, I don't know that I want to say I was Bibled out, but
oh, you're right. Nicholas was using scripture to defend Smokey, calling people whores, slags.
Yeah, it was really it was weird. And what you had to read would have been positive. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really everything I read already. Talking about Ephesians 4 and I forget the other part, Proverbs, where I was talking about speaking life and not death.
Yeah, I don't think there you go. But I don't think you would have been abusing it. Is my point.
My point in that had nothing to do with the death threat, the alleged.
I know.
So it was about speaking to edify, to help people, particularly people that are in a bad place at a particular time. The last thing you want to do is rub their nose in the stuff and make it worse. And so when you had Nick using scripture to defend that awful behavior, it was really, really bad. And so I maybe you were protecting yourself in case I said something that was offending you too. That's a possibility.
No. I think I was just really super frustrated, and I don't know why I said that either. Although he takes the opportunity to show that like the demons are coming out, kind of thing. I didn't want to hear the Bible, of course. It's like, no, I don't even know. I don't know why exactly. I think I was probably just frustrated. Here's these people claiming to be Christian, and you're like, oh man, it's like all this fighting over like how to abuse people and then justify it with the Bible. I'm like, I don't know. I was really wiped out like that, obviously.
All right, we're almost done.
I wish I would have left you read that and listen,
No, it's okay. I think we're getting close to his attack on my sexuality, which granted, because I'm sure that he's heard my attacks on his. Like I've said some in this chat, but I've said it before because it's clear. Like he is supremely effeminate and reveals it so often. And I guess somebody had said, I've never heard him say, but somebody said he's had issues with homosexuality in the past. So it's all clear, and that's fine. Whatever he's going to be. I'm not attacking him for that. It's just this is a guy who is so I think he hates who he is and those temptations that he gets. And he wants God to take it away, and maybe he's mad at God, and this is his way to get back at God by doing the opposite of God's work, to do the work of the devil. Let's see. I want to end it with the stuff that he projects about my sexuality.
It's about causing
the demons you agitated there, Bruce.
I just want to say that generally speaking, when somebody tells you they're having a major panic attack and having pain in their chest, you usually don't start screwing with them. Really,
Christians tend to be comforted by scripture.
Yeah,
that tends to have to be what happens.
I have them.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna pray for peace,
especially in moments of anxiety.
Sleep for you in Jesus' name.
Does the demon inside you just not like the scripture? Does the anxiety demon just not like the scripture that much? It's too bad Rob can't actually pray.
This thing is good.
He's about to say. I think he's about to attack me lastly, and then we're going to close it.
No, it's just funny. It's like, why?
Yeah, he's projecting constantly, and here's where he projects mostly. If I'm right,
it's really a pity that Rob isn't an actual Christian.
See, I just prayed for peace for you. I offered to do scripture, and he's like, well, I think that Christians should take comfort, are supposed to take comfort in scripture. Oh, by the way, Rob's not a Christian. I wish that Rob was a Christian. It's like, why? Because I preached being nice. Oh, how antichrist of me. That's all he's got on this. And then I said, death threats are bad. I wasn't severe enough. My being patronizing to him and kowtowing to the idiocy that was so easy to predict what his response would be, he didn't catch that. And once again, it's more proof that Smokey is just a guy who studied a thesaurus and a dictionary, but he doesn't really have much of an IQ. He's good. I think he's good with remembering stuff. He's probably got a series of notes. Perhaps one of the reasons why he needs to be behind a fake caricature is if he were on screen, you would see him pull out his notes that probably other people have written that he takes as his own opinions, which, interestingly enough, I think is very similar to our friend with the sunglasses. So let's keep going.
True God,
Yeah,
that's
not
too
good.
bad.
So I'm getting up at like
That's bad.
7 or 8 o'clock every morning. So not cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
the smoking.
It's a pity that,
Maybe
that Rob is a
smoking
fraud,
is,
and it's just a bunch of vain
That dude
effort.
needs help.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'll just say that he didn't, from what I've heard, the hearsay.
Does God hear the
That's,
prayers of the wicked
substantially been
California
confirmed.
liberal voting for baby murderer
You know,
faggot
Rob, when
lawyers?
someone comes out just blah, 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 blah,
Does God hear the
this or
prayer
that,
of them?
that,
I'm not going to take that
sounds
on
to me
that.
like they ain't got God.
See the anger he says about that, because he says the word faggot there, because as a liberal minded person, I would say if a homosexual wants to get married, go get married. And it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. So that and that makes him mad, because in his mind I might be encouraging the fleshly aspect that exists in his reality. Not in Smokey Saint, because Smokey Saint, the cartoon, is an alpha male, but behind the scenes, the guy has homosexual tendencies and struggles. And so here we'll see more of his projection.
Well, Archie Bunker was much more well-mannered than Smokey.
Yeah, no kidding. Here we go. I think it's coming right now.
They're hard. Well, his motivations
really,
are
truly,
certainly seem to be very
I don't know.
personal.
I don't know about your sexual orientation.
Here it
Truthfully,
is.
you very well might be married, but I'm going to tell you what, you just ooze queer. Everything about you.
I ooze queer. Everything about me.
Oh,
Let's keep going. Yeah, let's keep going.
Really, truly. I've been around it a long time.
He's been around it a long time, or did he say been around you a long time? Couldn't have said that.
He's been around it a long time. He did say
See?
that.
So there's a lot of projection and confession here that he's got to put onto me. Once again, there's no substance to any of these claims.
Well, what about the silver spoons deal? He got you on that.
Yeah, exactly. And so again, this is the quote that he made earlier in this discussion. That's a good way to get close to closing out as we listen to how he attacks my sexuality further and projects about himself some more. He talked about condemned you for striking at someone, canceling them, devaluing them. And his quote was, "What an incredible tragedy." And I would say that applies to you, Mr. Smokey Saint, and whoever you are, the man behind the mask. And let's close out with more of Smokey on Rob Reed's sexuality, because he knows. He's been around it.
I've been surrounded in this community for a good number of years. I have many homosexual friends, many that I lost. But, Rob, it just oozes off of you. You know what, Rob? I'm going to tell you something. If you would embrace your extraordinarily effeminate queer personality traits and just ran with it, go open up a law office in Hillcrest. Because, one of the beautiful things about the queers that you support is that I only like to hire queers.
Do you hear that anger, though? He says queers that I support. This is his attack on me because he feels that my acceptance of the man behind the mask, let's say his right to marry, he so hates his desire for the same sex that he has to project it on me, that he has to attack me because I'm making him feel like, oh, maybe it's okay. Well, from a salvation situation, God doesn't call for perfection. The grace of God says that you can come as you are. If you're gay, you can come to the feet of Jesus, and it's up to Jesus to, it's the work of God to change your life and whatever, you change your mind from the ways of the world, but it doesn't stop you. You're going to still sin. You're going to fail. But my hope for anyone who's gay is I would much rather they profess Jesus as Lord from their mouth and believe it in their heart than I would them not do so. So that's the only acceptance as a human being. I love homosexuals as human beings. And as a lawyer who believes in civil rights, when the government involves itself in the idea of marriage and requires certificates and provides special benefits to two consenting adults, a man and a woman, to get married, then the government needs to do the same and sets the stage to do the same for two adults of consenting age of the same sex. Now, That really, really gets the goat of the real person behind the mask of Smokey Saint. And that's the projection we see here. Let's keep going for the last segment. Last few words, probably.
Yeah, did you know that? That tends to be normative. Yeah, they tend to only like to hire gay people. That's typical. Now, you would say that a straight business wouldn't be able to discriminate, from not hiring.
See, he's just making stuff up now. He's straw manning. He's saying that I would say a straight business has to deal with gay people, but then I'd also say gay people wouldn't have to hire straight people. They could discriminate against straight people is what he's arguing right now.
A queer person, because we live in California.
Which, of course, is not true.
You would know that that's unacceptable. But you do know the queer places regularly do that. And I think you would be an outstanding queer lawyer. And that you would do really.
I'd be see, that's the way you give me. That's the first thing he said. I'd be outstanding as a lawyer, but only if I was a queer lawyer. This is the mind. This is the guy who so many people give credit for being smart. And it's not. It is stupid argumentation. There's no
lawyer would be good for that. Yeah.
It's only attacking. It's only doing things that he said you did that he condemned you for. It's striking at me because he's hurt at me because I would be so bold as to say, stop being mean to Bruce. That hurt him. So he needs to try and cancel me, attack my skills as a lawyer without any knowledge, to devalue me, to call me gay, to say that I have features of gay. Why? Because he knows he's around them. There's so much confession and projection. It's almost sad. And it leads you to just want to feel sorry for this man. And that's the element that I'm at. It's just that if he didn't take it, like, I could just feel sorry for you, Smokey, if you didn't attack Bill and his family so brutally. That caused so much internal pain. That's why I went into the chat. The only time, maybe I've been there once again after, I don't remember. But the one time that I went in there was to tell Smokey that he was a piece of shit. And that was when he did the video with the urn and all that bullshit.
Yeah, that was bad.
So he's doubled down on that. Now talking about murder and all that other crap. Talk about intentional infliction of emotional distress. And somebody who would have an opportunity to sue you. You're an idiot. The only reason why I would tell somebody not to sue you is because you're on YouTube all freaking day, which means that you probably make food stamp money. So what is anyone going to get out? And that's your only defense. The only defense you have is the fact that you're, I would assume, penniless. You've got nothing for anybody to go after. And so you're projecting on every level. It offends you all.
People I've ever seen. He mocked you for saying that you had money when you were young. Yet he mocks people when they're poor. I don't know why he mocks poor people. That's a very odd thing to do.
That's again, he is so inconsistent. There's no substance. It's just to attack somebody. So the way he could get you on some point of you making a proper complaint that his behavior was so far away from his profession, his religious profession and his alleged persuasion, that he doesn't care whether he's consistent. So yeah, he'll mock the poor, he'll mock the rich. He doesn't care as long as he's mocking people that that make a substantial point against him that he can't argue against. And that's the sad thing. Super sad.
Well, and that argument is generally speaking, that argument isn't about him as a person. In all honesty, they don't care. At least I don't care what he looks like, where he lives. I don't care about any of that. All I've ever really cared about is how he treated people. And when you disagree with that, he goes nuts. He goes berserk. He turns all the meaner. If somebody else joins and defends you, and defending someone else, or anyone who just defends anyone else or themselves, they're under more attack.
That's right. So this is really, I guess, in the end, it's a wake-up call for those that follow him, Smokey, and profess Jesus, is that I'm glad your person's of peace with him, but you're enabling him. You're giving him too much credit. And for a message for him in particular is that my hope is that he would stick to Bible, because like I said, he does that well. And that is the man behind the mask. So I want the man behind the mask, Jay, the guy that was on Jesse Lee Peterson. You control the channel. You take it over, because that person who was on Jesse Lee Peterson's show showed some fruit of the Spirit, showed the kind of restraint that I would expect from somebody who was a believer in Christ and who wasn't sociopathic or psychopathic. So I think the character is getting in your way of a good witness, Smokey. I'm optimistic with that. And I shouldn't
Yeah, I
even say
respect all you guys on Jesse Lee Peterson's. Honestly, I had respect.
I like Jay. I like Jay a lot. Smokey Peterson's an asshole. Well, GY6, I don't care about what he makes. What does he do? How does he make that kind of money when he is on the internet for 8 hours a day? Anyway, you won't hear that till later. But in any event, I think we're just about closed. Let me see if there's any last hilarity.
Good to move your disgusting theological hypocrisy into the realm of your actual business practice.
I don't know where I'm a hypocrite. He hasn't revealed my hypocrisy. That's the wrong word. Once again, you're not showing any intelligence here. You might mean, I guess he means to the extent that I profess a love of Jesus, but because I vote on the side that is pro baby murder, as he puts it, then therefore I can't possibly be Christian. And it's a ridiculous notion. I'm not pro baby murder. I'm not pro abortion, but I am against government control of what we can do with our bodies. And guess what? So are you, Smokey. Let's talk about masks and mandatory vaccines. And then all of a sudden you're about as pro-choice as I am, aren't you? All right, let's see. Keep ending.
And help other people, hold the disgusting double standard that you yourself also hold. That I think you've possibly been missing your niche. Right? You might be able to even accrue more mammon and wealth, which you seem to very, very happily idolize and put ahead of any of the ever so even basic Christian ethical principles.
See, so he said that I put wealth above. Like what knowledge does he have of me putting wealth above, or my political persuasion? I'll give up my political persuasion yesterday. Politics is a thing of this world. Politics is just something that we deal with in our normal life because we vote. We live in an amazing country, so we have an opportunity to choose who's going to lead us. And I tend to side with those people who have Democrat philosophy than I do Republican philosophy. I have a different belief regarding economics. I'm not socialist. I'm not far left. I don't believe that the society should be communist or we should take away capitalism. But I tend to side more from social issues on, for instance, the right to decide what you want to do with your body. I'm not pro-mask mandatory. In other words, to jail someone for not wearing a mask. But, because that's the only thing you could do to enforce it. And I'm not mandatory vaccine guy as a government requirement, or the state says it. If there's a particular employer that wants to, and if the government's an employer and it's a public service, let's say the DMV, that are going to be dealing with the public, then I think mandatory vaccines make sense. The FDA's approved it, so now all the arguments are in my favor right now. In any event, you have anything to close out, Bruce, before I get the heck out of here?
Well, I think nasty people should have to wear masks online. I do.
Yeah, exactly. Wear the mask online.
Yeah. Serious. Yeah, I know. Gosh, I got so many people worked up over that little meme picture I had up there, me wearing a mask. Oh my goodness! Some of those guys, man, they hated that.
Well, I pray that their eyes are opened and more eyes are opened before more people that we know and their friends and relatives succumb from this. That's it's clear. It's clear.
He thought maybe he had it. He was talking about it a bit. Who knows?
Who's smoking?
Yeah. Just recently, he's feeling kind of ill. I hope he's doing better. Whatever. it's hard to say that even, believe me, but I do hope so.
I hope he doesn't have it, and if he does, I hope that it's smooth and goes right through him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has he ever said he was vaccinated, or he won't admit to that?
No, I don't think he would do that. I don't think. Maybe, but I don't think.
Well, again, if he didn't get vaccinated, or if he doesn't get vaccinated now with FDA approval, then again, I'll question whether he's as smart as he says that he is. But anyway,
yeah,
and I don't know.
but, I don't know if he had it or not. I don't think he knew. But I think he was wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. The idea that I've seen it so much, and I don't mean to get on this diatribe, but I saw something today where somebody at the Trump Alabama rally. I mean, I always say the video that I did, but someone there said that she trusted this Dr. Tenpenny or something, this doctor that's out there, and what she said on the internet regarding the vaccines, then she did her own physician who's known her for decades, who told her to get the jab. She trusted Dr. Internet over her own doctor. Now, how can you trust a doctor and medicine to treat you for the COVID if you can't trust the doctor who tells you a way you can prevent getting it? Either the medical profession is incorrect all the way, or it's correct.
Sherry J. Tenpenny is an American anti-vaccination activist who supports the disproven hypothesis that vaccines cause autism. An osteopathic physician. I'd say she's credible. Drunken gollies, I don't know. Now let's talk about magnets, if we could, and negative ions.
No, but Bruce, I thank you for joining. I don't think I need to go back. I think I got enough there. I got enough of his projection, which was really the impetus. I wasn't going to say anything about it. I caught wind of him talking about me, and I don't know why he felt the need to jump on me. He could have just used your snippet where you said that you were going to kill him, and that would have been plenty enough, or whatever it was.
No, I don't. The whole point is it's all relative, because it's not even relative. The whole point is he can't stand here. I'm not going to meet him out somewhere. In reality, is if he did show up, I'd probably just call the police. And
no, I think you would have punched him in the face. And I think that he wouldn't have been able to defend himself by all appearances, and that's why he's working out so hard, so he can put his muscle where his mouth is, right? He can't do that right now, so he's got to be the second coming of death with the Reaper, right?
Well, I mean, but I have had to deal with that. I mean, seriously, I had to think about how angry I got with him, but I thought about it in life. When I have had people, when things are really bad, sure, I've had to do it, but I was even gentle then. And I'd also, what's that?
I'm just pointing to GY6 saying that he's getting the vaccine Friday.
And I just want to say that, like in a bar situation, I remember a guy came up and he was talking with a buddy of mine, came in, he was carrying this big Bible. We went in to get coffee, and they didn't have coffee. Anyhow, he looked at me, and I was heavier than him, and he said, "As for you, you fat fuck," And I remember looking at him, and he had a black eye, and I just thought, wow, it's not worth it. I walked away, and then my buddy and him got talking, and it was pretty crazy. But he was a drunk. Then we started allowed to come around, and it's a shame. He was pretty messed up. But the point is, no, it didn't deck the guy. You just look at him and think, this dude is screwed up. I mean, when somebody's that bad, but the people like Smokey I've seen in life, that acted like that, in all honesty, at least in real life, I don't know, on the internet it might be different, but one guy, I think it was just
I give him more credit. If he was Jesse Lee Peterson, if he put his name out there and his face, and he still did it, then all right, you're an alpha male. You're not. You're done.
Well, okay. So here's my point, though. Here's the real issue: was the one guy who I knew who would act like that. He was actually really gone. He could act pretty normal, but there were really big issues somewhere. Bad. And we're not talking having a panic attack or something. The ability to reason right and wrong. Yeah, it's very bad. So I mean, who in the world, and as we both know, who in the world have you ever met in your life would come up and call you a queer and talk about the devil's, having you bent over and screwing you up and
I'm not a
laughing.
little guy. I mean,
Yeah, but nobody ever acts like that.
People aren't going to say that to my face. More likely than
Nobody
not.
does that. And even if you were a little guy, they wouldn't do it because they know that.
Well, I mean, if they would, if they were like 12.
yeah, exactly.
So,
or if they were drunk in a bar and like you might just go, wow.
Yeah, 12 or drunk in a bar. So we don't have that excuse. Smokey doesn't have that excuse in either scenario.
No.
So, and anyway, Dale, good to see you, but we're leaving. I'm closing shop.
Hey, Dale.
Have some fun watching Smokey project his sexual issues and put them on me because apparently it's very homosexual to be nice to people.
Wait, you don't actually know that for sure, but it is apparently. I don't know. I don't want to.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing with my dad is a precursor of things to come. My dad's in his 70s, and I love talking with him, and I want to share that, and I want to have that memory, like put it on video. So I don't know how much longer I'm blessed with him on this earth. So I think it'd be kind of cool. Plus, he's fun. Plus, you'll see. You'll see. Some of his politics you'll get, but he's pretty extremist. My dad, thank God, is just little Q. He's not big Q.
He's a little what?
He's little Q. He's not big Q. There's a little Q in him, and that's what he made 4 boys here, American boys, and I am the least liberal of all of them. So that'll tell you how liberal the other ones are. We're all different level. My brother became my other attorney brother. He's the youngest. He became less liberal when he got a high-paying job. I'll say that, and that had something to do with my dad too. Because before my family came into money that we talked about before, we were all very Democrat. My dad voted.
Why does the devil, like I said, just attacking one person? Like, why does he attack like a whole family?
Who?
The devil.
Oh, well.
Come on. Wait, that was like a Smokey thing. Now it's your turn to hit me. Go ahead. Okay, I deserve something nasty now. I have it coming. I know it.
I'm not saying a word. All right. On that note,
okay.
The good message of the gospel is
tell me,
we're all wicked.
Tell me if you know who this is.
Was that Sarah Hahn?
Wait, did he show his eyes or just his forehead? I forget.
He showed his eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a guy that people don't know that his sole shtick, his thing was what Bruce is doing right now, where he never showed his entire face. He had this long hair, you could tell.
Yeah, you could see that long hair.
And all you saw was his eyes on the bottom of the screen, and he would do response videos like that. Sarah Hahn.
I think he was an atheist. I'm pretty sure.
He was an atheist. He was
a
part of the great
guy.
He was a nice guy and funny.
Yeah. That's kind of what I remember.
I was a liberal Democrat, then I got saved. All right. I was a liberal Democrat, then I got saved, and I became a more moderate Democrat. So you just
and the devil got always attacked the whole family. He done got my family.
And let's just say Donald Trump did no help. Did not help in any way, shape, or form, leading me to the dark side. He did not help.
Well.
All right. On that note, God bless.
Right. Take care, Rob.
Everybody's wicked. I'm wicked like Smokey. You can judge me on so many things that I judge Smokey on today, but thank God for Jesus. And if you know Jesus, it doesn't matter what you've done, that you're washed clean, and it's that simple.
You need one favor though.
Yeah.
Don't read any Bible stuff because
no Bible stuff. No Bible stuff.
Have that. I can't.
Yeah, but I'm Antichrist according to Smokey, and I encourage him because he's so bright to look up what the Antichrist spirit is in the Bible, and then when somebody professes it, it's probably not Antichrist. I think it's he who denies Jesus is the Christ that is Antichrist. But I don't know. I'm just trusting what the Word says. Smokey, you can
All right,
trust.
I'm gonna leave so you can close. Take care. It was good. Appreciate it.
No, it's fun. A little cathartic. Waiting for the response video. We'll see. That'll be fun.
Oh, do you want a good laugh though before I go? Something to just remember this whole time together about?
Sure.
Well, last night I decided to unsub from all the stuff related. So today I didn't watch any of the videos. Well, I did watch parts one little bit, but I thought, nope, staying away. I stayed busy, kept working on stuff. And then I came on and I saw you were live. I'm like, I'll check it out. But it was
I'm
good.
gonna try and do it some more. We'll see. I'm going to try and have like a plan. So I would tell people, if you're watching still, my Rob Rude, which was formerly my Lift Aloft channel, I just renamed it. I'll be like Rob Reed and then Rob Rude. That where this material is going to more, it'll go on that one as opposed to the. I want this channel that most people are watching this on to be just like my music and lifting up people, worship.
Oh, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
That's all right. I'm just saying Rob Rude is going to be the stuff that's going to talk to the people that say stupid stuff and be maybe not as Christian as I should be, but try and be edifying at the same time. My hope in the end of this is for Smokey to go, scales to come off his eyes, change his mind, stop being such a jerk and so evil, and at least to have people that follow him to like guide him, that are persons of peace for him, to guide him in a more Christ-like direction, because he's not letting the Holy Spirit do it. That's for sure. So hopefully the Holy Spirit working in others will be able to do that.
Do you by chance have a fascination or imaginations or anything in relation to a woman by the name of Frances?
No, it has nothing to do with that. I told you that some people argue that. It has to do. That was my nickname. People called me Rob Rude in college for good reason.
Okay, we have to admit the imaginations part. Like that threw you. I saw you start to laugh when I couldn't help.
Well, when you said imagination, somebody's face went in my head, and then when you said Francis, it switched.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, no, but that's okay.
All right.
I was thinking sunglasses, and then I went to my friend Francis. All right. God bless you watching, Smokey.
Bruce is an idiot. Okay, I'm out of here. I make fun of myself. Okay,
I'm going to close with the video that I did today, and then we're shutting off. If you didn't see it, you can stick around. The four that are in here. Hey, it's just me. See you, Bruce. Thank you for joining. This is a fan of Donald Trump. Was at the Alabama rally, and she was talking about separating the sheep from the goats and related to the vaccine, that's how God's working. God bless you. Talk to you later.
I watch Prophets of God and Newsmax and maybe a little Fox. That's about it.
Right. That's where
but I've kind of turned away from news. I don't want to listen to it. I want to listen to what God's saying, what he's fixing to do. That's all I'm concerned about.
When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right, and the goats on his left.
I think it is this time where God is separating the sheep from the goats.
Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels."
What are you?
I am I'm a goat because I ain't a sheep. I'm not doing what they tell me to do.
Worst Christian ever!